lie? Why would they 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 lie?
I know you've been hating this, but how about that radius, huh? What is he saying though? Broken geometry.
Okay.
I just pointed out, now you're at hominy. Went to your mommy B, trucking and driving, Globers be wildin'. They went out of style, 8 inches per mile squared, never been measured out in the wild. Why would they lie? That's what they cry, when it just can't be denied. Defending the government, slave till you die. You ain't got no reply.
That stuff is flat.
Who told you that? Like I can't trust my eyes? There ain't no curvature, and the swan is black. But nice try.
Why would they lie? 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 Why would they lie?
Once you go flat, matter of fact, you never go back. You never go back.
Why would they lie? Why would they lie? Why would you ask such a question? Coming here crying to ask why they're lying? Dude, may I make a suggestion? It seems to me in your mind that you could use some introspection. Instead of advancing your thinking, you're headed straight to a sad state of regression. People keep thinking it's our job to find them the model that they've been questing. Meanwhile, they're walking around every day and the world never ever suspecting that the very own senses a human possesses have never attested. Something that's absolutely and completely reversed to the world manifested. How can you think that a person like me could take someone like you even serious? Why would they lie? Why would they lie? Bro, are you fucking delirious? How can we even engage in a true conversation if we can't surpass this? I'm gonna need you and your little fundy friends to pull their heads out their asses. Why would they lie? Are you fucking high? You really gotta be kidding me. The world that you've known, all on its own, has been nice and flat since the beginning, see? No 8 inch per mile square, that's why y'all scared to have this become mainstream. So as a result, we transform into nightmares, waking folks from the daydream. So proceed to ask why they are lying without verifying your story. And at the end of the day, maybe all I can say is that y'all fucking bore me. Why would they lie? Can't even deny. You're sounding just like a baby. Maybe a hero is all that you need. Maybe else somebody save me.
Global abortion, all applauding. Cheers, big heads, small, enormous. From cradle to grave shall be like tortoise. NASA tower lies every day is exhausting. Nothing more boring than the stream they recording. Yeah, that looks real, is that a joker talking? Composite my nuts is not a bore you foreskin. Ignoring, distorting the facts with their stories. Entering your mind irrespective of warrant. To stay levels curve we expect from a zealot. Spherical excess, now we don't want it. Delusional puppet digesting the stomach. Without any warning, hick on the shoremen. Are you a moron? Is not that important. Similar to Karen, always reporting. Endorsing the fraud and effects without cause. Manifest force from a pseudo source. Reversing the curse of what you've been taught. They've been rehearsed in the dirt, but they still fall short. Imaginary planetary alignment coincide with space warp. At astronauts monetary paid for. Submerging the water what they claim that they orb. It's a circus show, clown circle in the globe. Why would they lie? Obvious the creator. If the glove don't fit and the earth don't turn, that's a whole lot of that they have to earn. Learn with the horizon swan. We eliminate the curve. All our eyes are on only what we can observe. Global lies are wrong. What they're hiding flatter. Keep my spies like on hide for the research. You rely upon priest and pirate like a bird. With your lying glove, preach religion like a church. How should they die? How should they die? Why would they lie? Why would they lie?
Why would they lie? Why would they try? I got the math and science on my side. I'm running circles, it's easy as pie. Your reification is all falsified. The education is all just a lie. Don't need to replace it. All I need is you to face it. All I got is time and you just waste it. This is a gift staring you in the faces. Where you gonna get the truth from? If not from us, then who you dum-dum? Made the bed of your demise and chose to sleep to count the sheep since 9 to 1-1. Never been a fighter, fact of life, a choice of wrong and right that I would never run from. State the truth, defend the youth and stop the coup. It's just a job that got to get done. Why would they lie? Why would they lie? Why would they lie? Santa was real, the fairy was real. Why mama lie? My brother died, healthcare was bad. Why mama cried? The system is broke, your son is woke. I'm setting this shit on fire. Why would they lie? 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 Why would they lie?
Why would they not? The plot and derive by watching the sky and they know it's a clock. They picking both sides and listed with lies. The people pretend that they pick who they got. The people divide and then they disguise and now they devising a plot. You ask why they lying from behind closed eyelids. You disguising an iris that's lifeless. You're denialist, but this lie is why you're a nihilist. Guess you're lying for the prize. And They enticing the brightest to get deprived in contrived confinement. Lie about what the meaning of life is. Get a degree in a 9 to 5 shift. Only way that you'll survive this. What's that mean? They have to bribe them. Yeah, it's tragic. Their only tactic when the model under attack is asking where a map is. If they lied about the earth, what you even asking? Weaving past them, leaving blasting. Everything you believe is backwards. Occult belief is practice. That's what they achieve in masses. Yeah, it matters. You believe what masses. Massive incoherent magnets have a weak attraction. That's electrostatics. They always invert it backwards. Wonder what's the verdict, pastors? Religious zealots preaching, talking past us. Sent a blitz right up the middle. Who can block the fastest? Falsify the radius. You cannot walk right past it. Yeah, they truly think they got the masses, but God's got the backing, so they can't stop what happens.
Why would they lie? 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 OG. Why would they lie? I'll tell you why. They don't want to see you survive. They don't want to see you get live. Love on your queen till you have you some kids and provide. They don't want to see you revive. Take an L, they come back harder than ever besides. Packing that hammer on side. I cannot help it, bro. Second Amendment on mine. They won't label you a felon. That way you can't get your hands on protection. That way they come in and fake an election. If they want Caesar assets, you can't stop or arrest them. That way the hood is simply a reflection of the design that they predestined. If you don't like it, they pop off your top like your last name was Kennedy in Dallas, Texas.
Woohoo! That was good. I haven't listened to that in a little while. Every time I hear something different in it that I didn't hear before. I put the link up there if anybody hasn't heard that before, so you can add that to your playlist. MIDI HC, Chocolate Saying, Spurs Chemo, Elijah Freeman, our very own, and Wits Gets It. All those people are our very own. They all belong to our server here, and they made that masterpiece called Why Would They Lie? And the inspiration for that was all the wonderful Globers who come into our server and ask us that question as if they were pre-programmed robots and think they're the first ones ever asking it. Why would the media, government, industrial, media, educational, prison, entertainment complex lie to get more cash? I can't even imagine. I can't think of even one reason why an organization like NASA that's raking in billions of dollars would lie. Gosh, I mean, people lie to get, people have lied to get, a candy bar. I'm sure they have. People have lied to steal $100 from someone. Here we have people raking in billions. And these little children, either in body or mind, many grown adults come in here with a little child's mindset. Why would the wonderful government lie to me? Isn't it there to protect me? So that's the answer to all those people. In fact, every time somebody comes in, we should just play that song again and force them to listen and give them a quiz afterwards of the top 10 reasons. Because I think we just heard a couple hundred reasons, didn't we, in that little beautiful song there? So anywho, we are here for the 24/7 Flat Earth Discord 2.0 Ladies Night. Are we still called the Flat Earth Discord 2.0? Because I know at one time they said maybe we should just take off the 2.0 because nobody even knows what the 1.0 was, but I think we're still called that. It looks like we got a bunch of people in check-in, ladies, so we can't let those people party with those people too long. If it's 13 minutes after the hour, they're only allowed to be in check-in for 10 minutes, and we're going to start stealing them. Panto's in there. You know how he is. He's going to keep them in there all night long. If you are listening on YouTube and you have a question about the Flat Earth, this is a great time to get your question answered. Anyone can come in on Flat Earth Ladies Night and ask a question, male, female, or, allegedly otherwise. But the ladies of the Flat Earth are the ones who will be answering your questions. So let's see what we've got here. We've got Damsel Medic. Hello there, Damsel Medic. I saw your great answer to LeJeffy, who never will speak and tell us how to pronounce her name, maybe or him or her. I don't even know if it's male or female. Maybe tonight will be the night, because I was told that LeJeffy and Slonk wanted to come in and talk about crepuscular rays. tonight, and let's see if they actually follow through and do that. Are you there, Damsel Medic? If you can't unmute, it's okay. We'll just still give you a shout out. Anywho, yes, LeJeffy wants to know about this YouTube video where a guy says, I proved the earth was a globe with my bicycle and sticks and shadows. And Damsel Medic gave an excellent answer to that video. And then I heard that there was some flat earther that's done a rebuttal specifically for that video, but now I can't remember who it was because I was going to try to dig that out. But, it's just the usual, sticks and shadows. Don't prove the globe. Sorry to break your heart, guys and gals. It works just the same on flat and globe, which we'd be happy to explain it to those people if they actually showed up. Slonk did take a new picture of his cat. So maybe we'll get to see that tonight if we're lucky. If anyone was here last week, I know you've been waiting to see if Slonk was going to take a better picture of his cat, and indeed he did.
Mic check. Anybody
I can hear
me?
you loud and clear. Yeah, you sound
Am I good? Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I've moved to Arkansas in the Ozarks.
I used to live in the Ozarks in Mountain View, where the Ozark Folk Center State Park is. So yeah, the Ozarks are a very interesting place to live. How long have you been there?
Since last Friday, so doing pretty good. I'm actually sitting in Harrison in an organic food market and restaurant right now.
Okay, I do not. I lived there, but I rarely left Mountain View. In fact, I wasn't even capable of living there. I only had a bicycle, so I was capable if people gave me a ride, but occasionally I would leave, but not too often. So I don't know much except for actually Mountain View and the surrounding areas. So what made you go down there? If you don't want to tell us, it's fine. I'm just curious.
Property. Cheaper than Washington State. It was too expensive.
That's
My rent went up by hundreds of dollars. Yeah, it's just way cheaper. I got lovely acreage, and I got a creek and trees and everything I could ever want.
Now, yeah, you're like closer to Fayetteville than I was. I was like southeast of where you are. Yeah, I went there from Montana. There you go. Moving from the West to Arkansas in 1992 for the reason of, the land being incredibly cheap and having like outrageously low property tax. I don't know if it was the same way there, but like the one place I was looking at was like $43 a year for 40 acres that had a building on it. It had a cabin on it. I'm like, $43 a year property tax. I couldn't believe it. I hope it's still like that.
Yeah, it is still like that. Yeah, and even everything is cost of living here is just a lot lower. Got gas prices are below $3. A gallon of milk is still cheaper than I could ever afford in my home state. So yeah, it's a lot better here.
Yeah. See, I decided not to end up settling there. I was looking at this land to buy. I probably would have bought it if these people from California hadn't bought it out from under me. But it ended up being fine in the long run because, I don't know, I just was down there by myself. I decided I didn't want to live down there by myself because some of the people are a little bit creepy. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, but maybe they aren't where you are.
I've had really good luck, and I'm actually with a group of different veterans and other people that I've met, so I actually know them. So that's one of the reasons I moved, was that I got cool neighbors.
That's good. If you already know the people and you've got like a built-in like set of friends, that's good, because I did not have that. Yeah, so that is good to hear. I'm glad to hear that. Good. Well, I hope everything goes well with you. I'm sure you're still settling in and everything.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my cabin to get built. It'll be about 4 months. So while I'm doing that, I'm renting a beautiful little cottage near Bull Shoals Lake.
That sounds good. Good. Well, congrats on the move. That was big, sounds like.
Yeah, did it all by myself. You hauled it all the way here, pulled my car. It was great. It actually went really well last week, so wasn't too bad. Took about a week to get here.
Do recommend the Ozark Folk Center State Park if it's still there in Mountain View, because that's where I worked there and I lived there, and they like preserve the old ways, like they do candle making, blacksmithing. They preserve the old music. They have concerts there with, the old mountain music. If you like,
it's about 40 miles away from where I'm at. I'm really close to Branson, about 20 miles from Branson, Missouri.
All right. Nice. So yeah, so it looks like Lulu's here. She said she might not be able to talk, but maybe she's going to be able to say hi. I don't know. If you can unmute Lulu now or in the future, feel free to say hello. She's giving us a wave in the voice text. Grace says that Karma's cooking at the moment. Hopefully it's something good. Lulu says she can't talk, maybe later. I am actually cooking something in the crock pot, which I am really looking forward to eating. It's a new recipe for a Guinness beef stew that I started this morning. It smells really good, but it's not like perfectly done yet. So I have to leave it in the slow cooker a little longer. I made some bread to go along with it. So yeah, at some point I'm gonna have to take a break and go eat that. I Serve Wifey is here, who motivated me to get my little rear end in here by posting in Ladies Night text channel that this is happening. Thank you, I Serve Wifey, if you are there. And Arian is also pinging the other ladies for us. Thank you, Arian. Oh, and we've got Mrs. Gets It. Hooray. Yes.
Buddy,
Hello
howdy.
there. How's it going?
It's good. I'm so jealous, damsel. I was just hearing about your new move, and I need to get away from concrete. I will be moving soon as well, and I cannot wait to just be surrounded by nothing but nature. I can't wait.
Well, talk to me if you're looking for a place.
Yeah, I definitely know I want to be in the southern East Coast region. Just these lefty zombies are really driving me crazy. I've been going to the store. I'm the only person in there without a mask. I was losing my mind yesterday. I just started yelling. I was like, oh, I must be the only attractive person in here because I'm the only one who's got a face. I love it.
I love it. Yes, and you can shout things, and they can hear you. They can hear you because you're not wearing a mask. So you have that advantage too. And if they try to answer you, they're just if they're trying to answer, you can't even hear them, right? So you got all the advantages there. Plus, you get to breathe. Imagine that.
I know.
The only people here that are wearing them are the employees that they're made to. That's it. Everybody else, barefaced, pretty much. I mean, it's really rare, other than a few tourists that I see.
Yeah, this one dude at the checkout had like a really thin mask, like it's like a cloth thing, you know, and it had like the American flag, and I was like, oh, we're in America? I thought we were in China. Like, oh, it was so funny.
Good for you. Good for you.
I've just kind of gone crazy, so now I'm just getting reckless with my words. Oh well.
They're the crazy ones, Mrs. Gets It. Don't ever let them tell you anything different.
That's
These
true.
people who listen to the voice. So that's what I always heard when I was growing up. People who are crazy hear voices in their heads, you know, like the voices on NBC News, the voices on CNN, and they actually obey these voices of these crazy people. They don't even know. Can they even prove that Anderson Cooper exists? I think he's a figment of your imagination. He's just an imaginary friend. If he's even one of them anymore, I don't even know who they are. Who's the main news person? Who should I use for that analogy so they don't think I'm an old fogey? Who's the main news person? Like if you said, this is the Dan Rather of today, who would it be?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe who's the dude who likes other dudes? Who's kind of like cute, but he looks like a
Don Lemon.
vampire?
Isn't that Don Lemon?
They're all like, I don't even know. The one who looks like a vampire, who's got like white hair. I forget his name.
Oh gosh.
Cooper,
He has the
right?
crazy.
Yeah, him.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't know he would still be around. So they are still carting him out there, huh? All right. Yeah.
Yeah, his mom is like the Gloria Vanderbilt, right?
Yeah. Oh, really quick, guys. I wanted to give a shout out to this flat earther that What's It told me about. His name is Stephen Brandenburg, and the Daily Beast did an article on him. Flat earther pharmacist who intentionally spoiled 570 vaccine doses gets 3 years of prison. So I guess he's a Wisconsin pharmacist who was caught intentionally destroying over 500 COVID jabs. And he's also a flat earther. So just shout out to him for saving lives.
Wow, I did not hear
3 years. When did I never heard anything about any of this?
Yeah, and it came out in January. So I haven't. I'll confess, I didn't actually really read through the article, but So maybe, I don't know, maybe it's fake news, but that just really caught my eye. And if that is actually true, that dude, like, somebody should create a GoFundMe for money for when he gets out of prison so he could go on vacation. Like, that was really badass if that's true. So
that is one fast trial. Nobody else gets a trial that fast.
Yeah.
Witsit's mugshot was better, but yep, good for that guy. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I never heard of that.
You gotta like those bad boys. What can we say?
Yeah.
Doing it for the right reasons.
Exactly. Yep. Fuck the system. So you're going to move to the country, Mrs. Gets It?
Yes, ma'am. I got to get out of here. I'm so tired of living in, I call it trash can land. So, yeah.
I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, I would have trouble living in the city right about now.
Yeah.
So Shines is here. You did, we heard from you. Hello, Shines, but we didn't officially say hello. How are you?
All good. I am well, doing well. Have my 3-year-old, so I'll be popping in and out as he screams and asks for things.
Oh, yeah. If you don't be shy, if you feel like speaking up, if it's a good time for you. And Sophia is here. Hello there.
Hi, ladies. Hi, Dandelion.
Hi. I haven't heard from you for a while. I think maybe you were here and I wasn't here. And then I know you were like on vacation. I think didn't you go on vacation or something? And then you.
Yeah, I was away for a bit. Yeah, we missed each other.
Yeah,
because I was here one night and it was only Lulu and I. And then the weekend after that, I was working, so I couldn't be here. And then, well, here I am again.
Good. Yeah, glad you're here. Let's see. Trombone Shell Sound, Ladies Night Roll, Flat Earther. I know I've talked to Trombone Shell Sound before, but it's been a little while. Hello, if you can say hello. Trombone Shell Sound.
Yep.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
I have a son who plays the trombone, so
Yeah.
I like that name. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I played trombone for almost 20 years. So.
And then you stopped?
I have 4 children and a small house and a homestead. So, and there's when everything happened last year, I kind of swore it off because orchestras started social distancing. It's like, well, there's no room for trombonists anymore. And I'm not going to get vaccinated because it's a huge part of Babylon. So, sorry, jabbed. Sorry.
Did you actually play in an orchestra? Like a...
I did a little bit. That's what I got my degree for. So I'm now a stay-at-home mom with a basically worthless degree and not prepared for what I needed to do.
That's fine.
But I'm glad that I didn't get more brainwashed by the scientific degrees or anything like that. So
yeah, like I did. Yep, I understand. Because I actually was going to get a music degree. You got a music degree?
Yes.
Yeah, I actually had the audition for the piano to go into the music school, but then somebody talked me out of it. They're like, oh, you'll be more likely to get a job if you do science and math. You're so good at science and math, you should do that. I have done the opposite regret of you and thought, gosh, I should have just gotten that music degree. I would have had a lot more fun. But I might not have ended up here, so, but now that my kids are getting a little older, I have more time to practice music than I did. So, how old is your youngest one?
9 months yesterday.
Okay, then I totally understand. Yes, because it wasn't until my youngest is now just turned 7, but it wasn't until 3 years ago where I'm like, I'm gonna start playing music again. Because I know what you mean. It's like you can't. It just seems like an enormous luxury, right, to even sit down and do music.
Yes.
But when they get a little older, and you know what, you could even try playing with them on your back in a backpack. I used to do that when I only had one baby.
I did that.
That's hard when you have more. Yeah, but then when they get older, it's actually, you're actually entertaining them. So, and they can actually see what you're doing. And they my kids surprised me when I started playing again. They would sit down and listen and even clap at the end. I was like, oh my gosh, you guys are actually paying attention. I can't even believe it. So maybe someday you'll try that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we went through all the ladies. I don't know if there's anybody else that wants to say hello that I didn't get to or that couldn't speak the first time through, but we are glad that you're here. And so anyway, we have the Flat Earth Ladies Night each Friday evening. Give the ladies of a flat Earth a chance to be heard more easily and just to encourage fellowship amongst us and between us and the we are supposed to be the fairer sex, or sometimes they say the weaker sex. Does that mean they're the uglier and the stronger sex? I don't know. Like, if we're the fairer sex, what does that make them? What's the opposite of fair? I don't know. Fairer. You've heard that before, haven't you? The fairer sex is the ladies.
Of course.
Unfair. Oh, yes, absolutely. Thank you. Oh, look at that. 3 guys told me the unfair sex. That's right. Exactly. We need ladies' night because the unfair sex wouldn't let us talk enough. Exactly. Thank you, guys. The more unfair sex. Okay, absolutely. Okay, so anyway, if there are any Glow believers here, this is a great time for you to ask your questions about Flat Earth. If you're either listening on YouTube, you can come in, and I'm going to start stealing people from Panto. Or nope, he chased them all off. They're not even there anymore. I told you, ladies, Panto had people up there. Now they're all gone. So I don't have anyone to steal. If there's anyone on the YouTube who would like to go into the VC check-in, there's a ton of people right now that you can get the VC verified role, so it's easy for you to unmute. End is near is a big ladies' night fan. End of Mankind has not spoken, but today, August 20th, 2021, might be the day that we hear from End of Mankind. Maybe he's waiting for the actual end before he or she speaks. I don't know. Bang for the Rang has no roles. Do you think we should try unmuting Bang for the Rang?
Well, Gladflobe is verified, so maybe do him first.
Yeah, Gladflobe, you confused me because you were talking earlier. I've seen you on the YouTube chat, so why don't you tell us what your story is there, Gladflobe, if you're around? Are you a flat earther?
Could I chime in for just a second? We talked to Gladflobe. He's been on the YouTube chat forever as a wrench there, a moderator there, and so I went through the 3 steps with him today. He's fully flat Earth. I think I even remember him from way back in the ODD times, as a matter of fact, in the chats back then. But anyway, yeah, he's fully flat Earth. But you guys can question him if he's able to answer. And I'll shut up now.
Thank you, Sonny, for filling us in. I've not seen him on the YouTube chat. I heard him talk earlier, right before we started Ladies Night. Are you there, Gladflobe? If you can't talk now, then maybe later. I don't know, because it looks like you unmuted, but then I'm not hearing anything. Are you? Is anyone else?
It says he has mic problems.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Mic is not working. Okay. Yeah, Vanilla's one of the people who was up there in the VC check-in. So if Vanilla can come in, that would be super. I see Vanilla's in the live stream voice text. Okay, Gladflobe says we'll let you know. Okay, good. Because sometimes when we have new flat earthers, we like to hear their story, male or female, about how they came to realize that the globe model is a complete and utter fantasy. So yeah, if you get a chance, let us know. Just chime right in there. Oh, yeah, maybe we'll lure Vanilla in here if we're lucky. Otherwise, I'm going to try unmuting Bang for the Rang and see what happens. Hello, Bang for the Rang. Are you there? Sorry, everyone. My fault. I'm going to ban them, but somebody might have already done it. So, yeah, next person, you just ruined it for everyone, Bang for the Rang. Now we have to throw you up to the... instead of unmuting in the live stream. So unfortunate.
Aren't trolls supposed to be funny?
I guess some trolls just like to hurt and upset people. They don't even want to be funny. Maybe they just want to be mean. Oh yeah, I successfully banned him. Cool. I hard banned him. Okay, Vanilla's going to come in after Vanilla eats. So I don't know, Damsel Medic, do you feel like addressing that about the bikes and the
Can you hear?
and the
Oh,
shadows?
good.
Oh no, Gladflow. Okay, sorry. Gladflow.
There.
We can go back to you. We can go on. That's kind of a different topic. So if you are ready.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, let's chat.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, I would like to hear like we have on Ladies Night when we have new people, their flat earth origin story. It sounds like you've been around for a while, and I know I've seen you in the YouTube, and so I was just wondering how you came to realize that the globe model was a complete logical and mathematical failure.
All right. Well, let's see. First name's Sean. I'm an alcoholic. No, I'm just kidding. I am actually in recovery, but why not? Why not talk about that? No. Okay. So.
Oh, good for you. Good luck. Good for you. I'm happy to hear that. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're a flataholic. Are you a flataholic? You're not a globaholic. That's the important thing, right?
I'm a recovering heliocentrist. Is what's going on. Yep. So as 2015, I think. I stumbled across some creepy stuff called blood over intent. You guys have probably heard about what that is. The crazy guy who was leading the whole deal was talking about flat Earth, and I didn't really like the blood magic stuff, but I was curious about flat Earth. He seemed really adamant about it, and he was presenting some things that were matching up, just in reality. Nothing that had anything to do with like an anti-globe stance, for instance, but he was just kind of pointing stuff out, and coincidences all over the place that end up not being coincidences. So anyway, I was very interested in what he was saying, and so flat Earth was in there. I kept looking into it, stumbled across Mr. Astrotheology, Santos Bonacci. Of course, you got your Mark Sargents, and you're deep inside the rabbit hole. And yeah, so I did. I just went down the rabbit hole. ODD, Richie from Boston, all the big names and players that way. I remember when Richie wasn't a flat earther. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but anyway, so yeah, I've just kind of been at it for quite some time, at least in the research realm, and I ordered a bunch of books. Got Robotham's book, got a bunch of stuff sitting here, collecting dust now because I read it all. Let's see, and I even did a laser test with my stepbrother out in Minnesota over a frozen lake. I can get that later. Yeah, and it was kind of amateur at the time, to be honest. We have a nice laser at the house up in Minnesota, and I don't know if it's nice or not, but it definitely reached over 2 miles, 2.5 miles or something like that, and it didn't really prove anything to either of us other than that you can at least see that far over a completely flat frozen lake. And so what we did was we went snowboarding the next year, and we went to Snowmass Mountain, and we went to the top of Snowmass Mountain, and we got with some guides and people who have grew up on those mountains, and we were kind of pointing out things on the map and trying to figure out where things are, what we can see from just that height. And so there was a city, it's like, I forget what it's, Glenwood Springs or something, that's almost 100 miles from the top of Snowmass Mountain. And so we were just with a map and pointing and looking, and everything was matching up perfectly. We saw over 100 miles. And obviously then I started paying attention to the horizon. I've taken a lot of flights. My stepdad's a pilot, and we have heated discussions because he doesn't want to admit that his plane and helicopter are all built assuming at the very least stationary thing to take off from and land on. And so anyway, we've argued a lot about it because he still thinks it's a globe, but he knows exactly what he's doing. Gyroscopes and everything. There's no aircraft that doesn't assume that. It's flat and stationary, but certainly stationary. Anyway, I don't know. I could keep going on about a lot of that. I've been all over the place, really digging deep, looking into this for, I guess, 6 years now. So. I hope that is enough information.
That's great. 6 years. That's a long time. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like 2015. Yeah. Wow. I think that's cool that you did your own test and like. So can you tell us? I don't know if anybody else has any questions they want to ask you, but the question that comes to my mind is like, what have you seen in terms of like changes in the flat Earth community? And kind of how it's been in the quote unquote movement of flat Earth, like in that time that you've seen it in 6 years. How have you seen it change?
Honestly, I'm proud of the fact that it has the staying power that it has, because the trolls are pretty, they're dug in like Alabama ticks, and I got discouraged actually once I started seeing all the censorship getting really nasty and just this really like bad taste in my mouth about the whole deal for a little bit. But that was a lot of me just saying like, also it was a time in my life I was trying to get my stepbrother on board. He's the smartest guy I know, but he still thinks it's a globe, and that just hurts my feelings. And so I don't know. I was going through a time where I was just like, man, I think I need to give this whole thing up for a while. I was letting it get me down, and I was focusing so much on the superficial reasons to either look into the truth or not. And so I finally just put my ego aside, and I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna get back into it. And when I did, I saw, like I said, some censorship and some other stuff, but everybody is sticking with it, and the arguments are so, diamond sharp now. There's just there's nothing left to do but say, okay, it's flat, we get it, Jesus, you know what I mean? Yeah, so the community's going strong, doing what it needs to be doing, and I think I guess to end it here, the wheat is being separated from the chaff too, in however way it does that. There's the natural process of the cream rising to the top, I guess. And by that I mean people who care enough about other people to want to help them out with the subject, not just call them names, not just focus on cognitive deficiencies, but I guess the whole thing, recognize that there's a cognitive deficiency, but it's not a slight on somebody to help them realize it. But then don't even bask in it. Just say, listen, okay, but now we're going to learn some stuff. Is that cool with you? All right, you don't even have to even think about the fact that you had a huge ego up until this point. Just forget it. Now let's learn. So, yeah.
I love that. That's a great attitude. Yes, absolutely. I totally agree. Yes, because that's one thing I've learned, in this whole endeavor here. I've said that many times, especially over the last year or so, about the wheat being separated from the chaff. It's very obvious. And it's not just, the wheats, the flat earthers, and the chaff is the globers. It's not that.
Yep.
But I was fooled into thinking that, like you just said, because it's so contentious. Like when I first got in here and saw like how in Discord in particular, obnoxious the globers were, it was very tempting to just be like, yeah, that's the chaff, we're the wheat, yay, team wheat. But then I came to see, no, that's not quite the case. And unfortunately I had to learn that by like encountering very toxic flat earthers, while at the same time realizing, all my relatives, despite my best efforts, like a lot of them are still globers, and they're still like perfectly sweet people who are just not able to deal with the concept that this whole, everything's a lie, basically. I mean, just the whole thing's a facade. Just give that up, whatever you were told before. And people can't handle that. And I've come to accept that, Glatflobe, and I've come to see that sometimes you have to just let people go on their way and just be like, yep, sorry, maybe in 10 years, look me up and we'll talk again, or whatever it is. And so I think that was beautiful the way you explained that. Yes. Does anyone else have any questions for Glatflobe? Or comments? Well, you just said it also. Nobody's got anything to add. Nobody's got anything to add.
Yo.
Oh, Scar's here. Hello, Scar.
What's up? This dude Oni, he want to know about flat Earth. He want to know.
Oh, great. He came to the right place then. Oh, Scar. And so is he a friend of yours?
Sort of like that. He came from a server where I came from, and he said he want to know about like flat Earth because he be trying to like help people, but he don't have like an ideal of it.
Yes. Okay. So you are endorsing him. I see you have the VC verified. He does not. So the last person I unmuted that didn't have the VC verified role made a terrible sound in our ears. So are you fairly confident that Oni will not do that to us?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he really want to discuss and debate.
Okay, we'll give him a chance then. I'll have my little finger on the mute button here in case he doesn't follow through and he embarrasses you. Oni, friend of Scar. Hello there.
Yo.
So you're new to the concept of flat Earth?
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, we're glad to have you here. So I'll just run over a couple, like, brief version of the VC verified role here so we can give that to you. There are rules in the welcome section, which actually I was going to put the link to the welcome section in the voice text, but then you won't be able to see that until after I give you the VC verified rule. Imagine that. But you could scroll up to the top and find the welcome section, and there's some rules in there. And
I found
I'm just laughing at what somebody else wrote there. And so I'll give you a quick summary, but if you could go up there, read the rules in the welcome, give us an affirmative emoji, such as a thumbs up under the rules, which are basically, keep your conversation civil, take turns speaking, avoid vulgarity, avoid trolling, including concern trolling. We try to keep the main live stream on the topic of flat Earth, but after you get the VC verified role, you'll be able to join many of the other channels, such as the Chill channel, Religion channel, Health Nutrition channel, or anything else that you're interested in, and talk about those off-topic subjects. Another place we try to keep this main live stream to the topic of flat Earth. And so for that reason, we ask people not to troll, because you can make fun of flat Earth pretty much anywhere else, but we here take the topic seriously, and we like to present the measurements and observations that we have found that make it clear to us that the globe model is nothing but a fairy tale. So do you agree to follow these rules?
Yes, I do.
Okay, cool. What have you heard about flat Earth before? Like, what inspired you to come here?
Well, I'm in between basically the Earth being a globe and it being flat, because I'm not too sure yet. I just like I've been seeing shit about like flat Earth and stuff about the Earth being a globe, and it's like I'm seeing more stuff about flat Earth more than the globe. So kind of just seeing what you guys talking about.
Where are you seeing this stuff?
Instagram, Discord, internet, pretty much.
Cool. Yep, it's a topic that's definitely gaining in popularity, especially as people find out, if they actually look into it and don't just go by the mainstream propaganda or the jokes or the memes, that there actually is something to it. And then if they stop to think about it, they realize the only place they've ever seen a globe is on their television screen or on their computer screen or in the pages of some book. And they have not actually ever observed curvature or experienced rotation, because you, Oni, as well as all of us, only experience the Earth as flat and stationary. So what questions did you have for the ladies here?
Well, specifically Antarctica. What is y'all stance on that? Like, what do you think is, like, is that where it ends, or like what? Like, is that like the edge of the Earth or something?
Does anyone want to take Antarctica?
Well, I will say that it's speculation. If we can't travel there, we can't go beyond the 60th parallel, right? We don't know what's out there. So I personally wouldn't make any claims of, is that the end? Does it go on farther? I can't stake that claim. I wouldn't make it because I do not know.
Yeah, I agree with Shines.
So like what? Well, firstly, what I want to know, like, let's say I was like, I don't know, somebody who believed that the Earth was a globe and literally just like, I don't know, like was trying to debate you. What would be the first thing that you bring up to, start up the argument?
Where's the curvature?
Okay, that's interesting.
Because if it's a ball, there must be some curvature somewhere.
Yeah, I see.
That's just the first.
Boys, so like, I also wanted to know as well. Is there some of you in here who believe that the Earth is a dome or something?
I think most of us, but we don't believe. We just know that it has to be. There has to be one because we have gas pressure here.
More in depth with that.
You can't have
Okay.
gas. Sorry.
No, that's fine. You go ahead.
You can't have gas pressure without a container, and it would simply be impossible to have like gas pressure next to a vacuum with negative gas pressure. It's simply impossible. So you need to have like a container, which would be the dome.
Yeah, most of the things that we talk about here, Oni, it like and some people are putting some information there in the voice text channel, which is for you, which is the channel right above this one. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah. So we are not required to come up with a perfect working model of the Earth, explaining every single thing that happens, how it is, exactly what it looks like, and so on. In fact, we're the opposite of that. We dispute that that's possible. It's definitely not possible with the way the world is set up right now, where, like you asked about Antarctica, the Antarctic Treaty makes it so that we are not allowed to freely travel there, so we can't go and explore that region. So we recognize our limitations. That's the reason why we look at that's the problem with the mainstream propaganda model, the heliocentric globe model, is that they do claim that here it is, everything's all decided. But we poke holes in that model, and we find it's really easy to poke holes in it. Like, for example, what people were just telling you, their claim is that we've got this vacuum or near vacuum of outer space where they claim these so-called astronauts go up and float around and all that. You've seen that, right? And yet they're saying that exists right next to our atmosphere, which is pressurized. And so when these globe believers come in, we ask them, how is it possible then that, because they don't say there's a container, right? So how do we have an uncontained atmosphere right next to this alleged medium of outer space, which is a near vacuum? And they don't have a good answer for that, because we know that gas doesn't behave that way. Gas doesn't just hang there in the air. It disperses, to fill all available space. And so that's the main thing we do. We pretty much, we accept the way the world, the way it presents itself, flat and stationary, because they've shown no proof of curvature, no scientific proof of rotation. They're the ones who are asking us to accept all this on faith. These special people went up here, this very small number of people went to this place. And even though we show and confirm that we've lied about all this other stuff, we lied about, the Gulf of Tonkin, beginning of the Vietnam War, we lied about this thing, we lied about that thing, confirm for national security that we lie all the time, and we have these super secret agencies that we can't tell you what's really happening. And after the Patriot Act, we locked it down even more. We're definitely telling the truth about this thing that you can't go and confirm, and that we're raking in billions of dollars of your taxpayer money to fund these alleged trips. So we don't have to explain everything. A dome is one postulation that some people think that makes sense, so that could be that way, or could be another way. Since we're not allowed to explore, we can't find out for sure.
Okay, I see. So, it's just speculation, sort of, I guess.
No, the fact that the Earth is flat is not speculation. Where it ends, that's speculation. The shape of the container, that's speculation. But that it's flat and stationary, that's not speculation. And like Iserve Wifey said in the text too, water needs containment. You can't have, if water needs containment, so we know we're in some sort of a container. And water is always level. If it was a ball, it would have curved. Or show us how it can curve around a ball.
Okay, it's very interesting. Also wanted to know about the day and night cycles. Explain how that works. Or do I have to go to a channel for that too? Or a channel for that or something.
No, I'm sorry. Was my speech intimidating? You can ask any questions you want about the Earth. It's mainly people who come in and like want to talk about, like sports teams or tools or whatever. It's like, yeah, occasionally we do talk about sports teams and tools and dog breeds, but we try to talk about the Earth most of the time. So that question is definitely right on topic. So yeah, does anyone want to go into how we can have day and night on a flat Earth? Any of the ladies want to answer that one?
Well, I mean, I can tell you that the sun and moon move up above us, and a lot of it has to do with perspective. And there are some great videos. I think David Weiss did a great one on his kitchen table where he set up like a little city and some mountains, and he had a string that was completely horizontal, level across the room, and he took a light and he moved it across that entire kitchen to show, like, look, I'm moving it horizontal. And then when you go to the bottom of the table and like put a camera there and then look up, it looks as if it is going down. And that is only due to perspective. It's that the sun and moon are moving farther away from us. And the farther they move away from us, the lower it appears to be on the horizon. Sorry, my son just came, so I got to go for a second.
That was cool to hear him. He sounds cute. Yeah, it's. I mean, a lot of these things, Oni, and these are good questions that you're asking. I mean, a lot of these things, it's like this box of thinking that all of us, were raised, saying it's definitely this way. We're on a globe, so how could anything else work if we aren't on there? But it all can work, and we can, like she said, for example, there's some different examples that people are showing you there in the voice text if you to look at those. And I think we actually have a whole channel that's just like a text channel about this type of thing. But the sun moves across the sky in the way we observe it to do. One possible model for this is the server icon there. I don't know, I'm on my computer, so there's like a server icon on the left. It's probably not like that on the phone, but if you hover over it, it starts moving around. But one thing I guess we should explain here is the closeness of the sun. The apparent closeness of the sun is much closer than what they claim. This claim that the mainstream pseudoscientific entertainers will give you, that the sun is 93 million miles away, has no basis in reality. It's just another one of their little tales. The sun, with the way the light shines and the crepuscular rays and so on and the way it behaves, seems to be much closer. So like even if you took a flashlight, our friend Bambi used to talk about this a lot. Maybe you'll get to talk to her one day. Very sweet girl from Scotland. If your room was dark and you took your flashlight and you held it over the carpet, you could move it into a circle and then it would illuminate different parts of the carpet at different times. And if you were a tiny little Lego man standing there in the light, as the light moved away due to perspective, which is what I think Shines was explaining to you, that perspective makes it seem like the sun's going down, even though really it's just moving away from you. Oh, and Shines has put the Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole video there about perspective and how it makes the sun appear to go down, where really it's just moving to another part of the plane out of your field of view and illuminating a different part. So can you see that voice text channel where she put that in at 57 minutes after the hour, Oni?
Yes, I saw.
Yeah, so maybe you could bookmark that and look at that. I'm going to actually bookmark that and put it in my little playlist because that looks like a cool one. I don't think I've ever actually watched that one, but it looks good. Does that make sense to you that you don't have to have a globe to have day and night?
Yeah, it sort of does. I guess it makes some sense.
Yeah, I mean, what most so-called education about the globe is just like, children, we live on a globe, and here's all the stuff that happens there, and it only could happen if you were on the globe. So it takes a while to like retrain your mind to think, oh, if I set that presupposition or that like preconceived notion that it's a globe aside, like all this other stuff works, and there's many other explanations that work just as well. They actually work better, which I think Drace was saying that in one of his posts here. Yeah, he said, on the globe, more than 50% is lit up at times. At others, under 50%. How do you accomplish that on a globe? I mean, what you'll find is their model does not make sense within itself, which is why you aren't really taught details about the globe model for the most part. Like, very rarely in a school will you see anything except, like, in geography class, it's like, first page of the book, there's the globe. And the rest of the pages are flat maps, because that's how maps are always used and always portrayed. And same thing with any other subject. They rarely will go into details about eclipses, details about day and night. Sure, they'll show you a little picture, of it. Yeah, here it is tilting. See, it's tilting in the picture. But they won't actually explain it to you because their model is full of holes. And there's another area where it's full of holes, the day-night cycles.
Yeah, you're also not allowed to question it.
That's right.
Okay, that's pretty
Did you
interesting.
ever question stuff, Oni, that you were taught in school? Or are you still in school?
I'm 15 years old as of now.
Wow. You have a very deep voice. Wow, 15 years old.
Yep.
Good for you. You are ahead of the game then, asking these questions at 15 years old. I am impressed. Aren't you ladies impressed? I am.
Yeah, he doesn't
I am.
sound 15.
He doesn't sound 15 either. I was thinking the same thing too.
But
I believe you that you are, because I actually have a 15-year-old son who has a very deep voice too. So it's not that I don't believe you. It's just I am impressed that at this age you are willing to go out, go to the Flat Earth Discord and ask like some content-related questions about the Flat Earth. You are ahead of the game.
I mean, if it weren't for Scar, I probably wouldn't be here right now. So
Oh, he's a good friend then. Scar's a good friend. Good job, Scar.
yeah, nice job, Scar. Thank you. Thank you.
Scar the Seem Sincere role just for bringing you in here. I gave it to you. Yep, I gave it to him. Should I give it to Oni too? I think so. I think he deserves that role. Right.
I
What's your
also
next
wanted to know, I did see this guy who was deconfirming flat Earth with without science explaining airplanes, and I'm very curious on what you guys think about airplanes as well.
Can you maybe be a little bit more specific?
Like how they fly around the quote unquote globe. What do you guys think about that? Like how do you deconfirm that it's a globe if you do bring that into an argument? I guess if that's a way of asking the question. I don't know how to correctly ask the question, but
I'm sorry, I missed that. I don't know if it was me, but there was like roboting going on. It might have been on my end. Can you repeat that for me?
I was asking, like planes, how do they fly? I guess on flat Earth, or at least what people call the globe. How do they fly? Like, I guess if that's the way of asking.
You're asking how do planes fly on a flat Earth or a globe?
Yeah. Either way.
So they only fly on a flat plane. It's even inside of the manuals that they're supposed to assume a non-rotating flat surface. Planes definitely fly over a flat plane. If they were to be flying on the globe, quote unquote, they would have to continually adjust to tip their nose down, and that would cause all kinds of flux with the drag and the way that they operate. So if they, they're definitely flying on a horizontal plane. Drace just put in the concluding remarks about planes in here. You can see right there, it says, in a stationary atmosphere over a flat, non-rotating Earth.
When I flew to France back in 2011, the first thing that I noticed is that when I was up on the plane and we were at about 45,000 feet up in the air, was that the higher we went, the sky, I was really waiting to see what the earth was going to look like and if there was going to be a drop off anywhere. And there never was. As a matter of fact, I could see more of the land the higher we went up into the plain. And there was no way that I could see a curve anywhere in my seat. I could not see it. In fact, I took a whole bunch of photographs while we were flying. The other thing too that I kept asking myself after I had gotten home and was thinking about the flight was, if the Earth is spinning so fast, how is it that it still took the same amount of time to go to France as it did to come back home? Because if the Earth is spinning, especially when they say that it's spinning at about 1,000 miles an hour, then it shouldn't have taken 9 hours to go back home from France. We should have been there in like 5 minutes if the Earth is spinning as fast as they say it is. So I kind of figured, hey, you know, there's got to be something wrong here if it's taking the same amount of time to fly out from Chicago and fly all the way out to France in one sitting without any layovers. So I came to the conclusion back at that time that their theory of the spinning globe, it wasn't working in their favor, because I was realizing there's no way that the Earth is spinning.
Okay. I have to go now because I have to clean up my kitchen. But I guess I'll watch the videos. This is a very interesting talk, I guess, if that's what you want to call it.
Thanks for showing up.
Yeah. Thank you for answering all of my questions.
Hope you come back. Talk more.
Yeah, I will.
Good. Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Bye now.
Are you still there, Scar?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you brought in your friend there. Yeah, he had some good questions there.
Yeah. He came from one of our servers too, because we are based Flat Earth server too.
You have a Flat Earth server, you said?
Yeah, it's like majority of the people there, they believe in Flat Earth, but not like so many.
Oh, okay, but it's like it's a server you own or something?
Nah, it's a server my friend owned too. His name Ron.
Oh, okay. What's it called?
We call it it's really called Debating and Religion.
The what religion?
Nah, that's what it's called. Debating and Religions.
Debating religion?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. So are you a person like what is your position then on Flat Earth?
No, I'm with Flat Earth. I believe that it's that we live on not a globe, but a dome.
Like under a firmament?
Yeah, like the way how the server icon is, that's what we believe in.
And how did you come to this understanding?
I had a friend, his name was Slave of Christ. I was like a glober too, and I was like spiritual and stuff like that. But then he showed me like a lot of proof, and he like made me realize that the Earth was really flat. And the first time I heard the idea, I thought it was stupid. But then I was like, it makes more sense.
Yes, I think that's a common first reaction is you assume that these people are just being silly or whatever, because that's what we're being told to believe in the media and so on is, oh, those silly flat earthers. But then that's cool that you were able to actually take a closer look at it.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question for Scar. Is it unfiltered, that unfiltered theological discourse?
Yeah, the owner of that server. He don't. Now I'm not in that server no more. But the owner of that server, he the one that made me realize the Earth was flat.
Cool. What it says, we shared that same server because I'm on that server too.
Oh wait, and this. Oh,
cool.
oh yeah, on this
I've
account. Yeah,
been
this
there.
is my alt account. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, welcome, man. That's awesome.
Well, did you have any questions about flat Earth? Like you said, first, I guess you said you were coming at it from like a spiritual point of view, but then your friend showed you proofs of it. Like your friend was coming at it more from a scientific point of view, or how did that go?
Yeah, he showed me from a scientific point of view from it too, and he showed me like actual footage of it, like everything. Like he showed me like planes going straight ahead, balloons going like floating on top. He showed me that majority of these people, like the space agency, they use like fisheye lenses, and sometimes they be in Hollywood in like green screens and stuff like that, or underwater. Like he showed me all of that stuff, and then he showed me that the word NASA in Hebrew means to deceive people. It was like he kept showing me more proof, and I was like, dang, the Earth is flat. I gotta hold that, and that's how I became a flat earther.
Yeah, I think that's good because I mean, most people who read the Bible with the I don't know what you'd call it, not necessarily open mind, but open spirit maybe would see that the Bible is clearly a flat Earth book. There's nothing about a globe in there anywhere. There's many verses that indicate a flat Earth, but then. And you can come to that understanding, but then, like, if you take that out into the world, sometimes not everyone is going to be able to come at it with that in that way. So then you can also back that up with the observations and measurements. Like I just put in one of those weather balloon videos from deep inside the rabbit hole. I think those are very compelling. Like, they're not proof, of course, because they're just a video, right? Like we don't accept a video of the globe as proof, but it is, it is definitely makes you question because we have come to understand it's obvious they use fisheye lenses and you can see evidence of that all over the place. And those are from the so-called official space agencies, whereas a lot of this weather balloon footage is just from amateur individuals that put their GoPro up there and they see this flat horizon. And not only that, not just the amateurs, but like in some of these so-called official things that were supposed to be proving the globe, like the Baumgartner jump, which I just put a meme up for that. I don't know if you've seen that one, Scar, where they claim that this Felix Baumgartner jump, that he saw the curve, and then they show these ridiculous images, fisheye lens, where like the state of New Mexico takes up like a huge amount of the curve, just way out of proportion to what it should be. But then you can see in the video when he's still in the cockpit before he makes this alleged jump, the horizon's totally flat, just like those weather balloon videos. So, at least has to make people question, especially people who say their best proof of the globe is pictures from space, which is a very common answer when we ask people who are sure they live on a globe. What's your best proof? Pictures from space. Okay, well, I got some pictures from space, dueling pictures from space. Like, if that's your best proof and you just got it shot out of the water because you said a picture's a proof and I'm going to prove that it's flat, then what do you got left? They don't have much left, believe me.
Yeah, I agree.
What's also great about the weather balloon, sorry to cut you off, is the hot spots from the sun. If the sun is 93 million miles away, having that particular hotspot with the weather balloon, I mean, that just wouldn't happen. You know what I mean? So when you see that, it's quite beautiful. And when Felix Baumgartner jumped, he was up there for quite a long time. Like she said, it was Arizona, New Mexico. It took up the entire frame of this curved camera lens, so it made it look like that's the entire portion of the globe. Like it's just astronomically hilarious. And he landed to the east, So if, the world is rotating towards the west, the fact that if it's rotating, where he landed was way far off from where he was supposed to land. Like way far off. He should not have landed where he landed. And after they said, oh, it's all curved, we saw the curve up there, Drace posted in here, Neil deGrasse Tyson said that stuff is flat. From that height, you would not see curvature whatsoever. So it's the same as people saying, oh, I saw the curvature from a plane. Oh, I saw the curvature, from here. Well, no, those are all fisheye lenses. You're not seeing the curvature whatsoever. And the more you talk to people, the more that you will start to hear Globers say, you'll never see the curvature. We'll never see curvature, but it's there. And that's when it starts getting really interesting, when you start picking apart every single piece and every single layer, and they finally have to admit there's no curvature, like, at all, period.
That is a good point, Shines. Yes, absolutely. So your friend, Oni, Sophia, were you going to say something about that? I just heard something from her. Oh, okay.
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Yeah, he kind of indicated that he's saying he's seeing Flat Earth everywhere, he said, on Instagram, Discord, and so on. So as our reporter in the field from the community of young people, Scar, would you say that this is the case, that Flat Earth is becoming like more of a popular or widespread topic among the youth?
Yeah, I think everyone is coming to a realization that the Earth is flat, and in fact now it's getting spread more. Like it's bound to happen. You feel me? Like, in a way. So in a sense, it's like people like Slave of Christ, my friend, right? He introduced me to that idea of like in a server, and I was just like, you feel me? I was a normal dude who didn't know about this stuff. He gave me that, and he told more people, and then the more he got popular, like he's really getting more popular now. He's spreading the truth about, like, he's trying to let everyone know that the Earth is flat. So now people realizing that, and they trying to take up his footsteps, is like pushing it on TikTok, YouTube, and stuff like that. And people, they realize, like I'm saying, they realize the truth. So we all doing the same thing.
I would just say the best way to continue in these arguments, especially for somebody who's new, is to stick to the ground, stick to curvature, and trying to have people show you curvature. And you'll soon discover that they cannot. No matter how they try and spin it, they can't. They'll start looking up to the sky, they'll start trying to do all sorts of things, but if you keep it on the ground and have them try and show us curvature, it doesn't exist anymore.
Good advice. Yeah, because they're always trying to take it to any kind of other, like, tiny little detail or like little, thing in the sky or whatever. And you just ask them to show, where's your scientific evidence of curvature or rotation or motion of any kind, and they can't produce it. Even when they claim they can, they run off with some kind of nonsense or simulation, like we had with Charlie here a few weeks ago, a computer simulation of refraction and curvature. Like, that's the best they got. Like, oh, this globe you tell us is so wonderful with settled science and all that, but you can't actually prove it. And then most of those people, just kind of disappear because they don't have anything, and they don't like to keep being reminded of that.
The sad truth.
So there's a couple other people in here that are that don't have any roles. Like, I just saw a few people in here. Mel, who's way down there at the bottom. A couple other people. If you would like to be able to join the conversation here on 24/7 Flat Earth Discord 2.0 Ladies Night, feel free to run up to VC check-in. There's some people up there. Jemsy's up there. It looks like he's got some customers up there. So now's a good time to go up there and get the VC verified role, so then you can unmute yourself and You don't have to talk, but if you wish to, you'll at least have the option. And then you'll also be able to see more of the server. For example, you can't see the voice tech channel that goes along with this voice channel until you're the VC verified role. And who was the person? Lanam de Plume. Yes, I heard you giving this great answer earlier about the planes and so on. I think that, because I don't know if I've talked to you before. Maybe you changed your name,
no.
but
No. This is actually the first time I've participated in the Flat Earth Discord. So, no, I'm definitely a flat earther. That all started coming about for me after going to France, and then I started thinking about a lot of things, like what I was teaching my children. Oh gosh, decades ago. And I had conducted an experiment with my children. We were on the train, and I was asking them that if they jumped up in the train and they came back down, if they would land in the same spot from where they jumped. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, all right. So when I say 1, 2, 3, jump, you jump. And so my children jumped. And when they landed back down, I was like, well, did you land in the same place? And they were like, no. Because number one, thinking about that little experiment with my children, it made me realize, well, wait a minute, the earth isn't moving. And you would have some kind of you would feel some kind of motion, right? Especially if the earth is spinning as fast as they say it is. You know, we should not be able to jump in the same spot if the earth is moving. And of course, you know, I got called out being, you know, ridiculous, you know, and then they started going into all this spiel about gravity and special laws apply to earth, and, you know, and I'm just not believing it. But I was also at the time visiting other channels. And I can never remember the names, or, you know, remember how to say them right. But I know that one of them was Jay Kalagia. There was another one who I was watching, and his name was Roy. And I was actually really appreciative for what they were putting out there, because it was helping me to understand what it was that I was seeing that they were putting out there. And I really appreciated Jay Kalagia's channel, because he was adding all sorts of biblical scripture to it. So by the time 2014 came around, I was definitely a bona fide flat earther. There, no ifs, ands, or buts. So yeah, most definitely.
Oh, so you've been at this for a while then?
Yeah. And for me, I don't need to do experiments for myself. And I'm talking about all the science and stuff, because I suck at science. But biblical scripture pretty much convinced me. My own eyeballs convinced me. The Book of Enoch convinced me, because, I mean, really, when you look at the moon and the sun, they're both the same size. I mean, there's no such thing as a coinkydink. You know, when you've got the sun, they say, you know, 90 billion miles away, and the moon is like 200 and something million miles away. And oh my goodness, they just so happen to look the same size. I'm not buying it for a minute. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that does really mess with people's mind, all these claims about the sun. And then when you look into them, how little basis they have to even make these claims. And the way they like so harshly go against even, you know, non-flat earthers, like Pierre-Marie Robitaille, who is questioning their, doctrine or dogma, I should say, about the sun, they go after him too. Of course, not with any success, like our little friend, non-Professor Dave, who tried to go after him. But they know that they are. The heliocentric model is clearly a faith-based doctrine. It's their globe religion. There's no doubt about it. There's no scientific evidence to back them up. And they don't have anything except for little whining and insults when anyone dares to question their dogma. And it's very sad. I mean, because it's not just flat earthers, it's many others, bona fide scientists, not just about the sun, but about their dark matter and all their little other fairy tales. I mean, there's people out there questioning evolution, all these things that are all part of their whole religion that they're foisting upon innocent school children left and right. And, they get shot down. They can't have a job, in many cases, they can't have a job in academia if they don't adhere to the religious dogma that the mainstream pseudoscientific entertainers adhere to. And so it's not just flat earthers. I mean, that is like the ultimate, but I think a lot of people, when they finally get to flat earth, some people have already gone into some of these alternate theories like the electric universe or, alternate theories about the sun, examining evolution, which is a load of nonsense and not scientific in any way. And so when you get to this, sometimes people who have looked into some of those other frauds in science, it's kind of like, oh yeah, here's another fraud. Yeah, not surprising they lied about this too, because they don't have credibility among actual scientifically minded people who are not, the people who are put out there in the media as being so-called scientists. That, I'm talking about real scientists that are actually using observations, formulating hypotheses, coming up with independent and dependent variables, and carrying out actual experiments. They are not getting fooled by this nonsense. They're just not. But they aren't necessarily making a big stink about it because they can keep doing their actual work without being affected by these jokers, So yeah, we got a lot of other people in here. Who is talking? Hello.
Hey, Dan Line. I just joined. I was talking to Jamesy a second ago. I joined like 20 minutes ago. Yeah. I've got a couple questions. Jamesy said I made some good points, so he wanted
Welcome
me
to the server.
Yeah, thank you.
We can't wait to hear your questions. Yeah, by all means, fire away.
I think most people won't really agree on like the science of proving the Earth because most people aren't like scientists, right? And it gets really complicated for them. So I want to focus more on like questions with the government and everything. My first question is, why would the government lie about the shape of the Earth? What do they have to gain from it?
Do I have to play the song again? Too bad you missed the beginning, because I said at the beginning after we played the Why Would They Lie song, we should just play this song every time someone asks that question. However, I won't play the song again since we already played it one time, but maybe at some point you could go to the YouTube stream and rewind to the beginning and see, 1 hour and a half ago we played the Why Would They Lie song, which is a rap type song written by and performed by a bunch of people on our server with so many answers to that question. But ladies, what do you think the top answer for Mushi, or just your favorite answer to that question? I don't know. Does anybody have anything they want to tell Mushi about Why Would They Lie?
Well, I would say... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I would just like to know that do you need to have a reason to determine whether someone is lying or not?
I'm not sure, not necessarily, but I think in this case it definitely is justified. It's a huge thing that the government is doing, and thousands of people are in on this lie. So it would make no sense for them to lie for no reason. Of course, people tell lies instinctively and just for no reason, but this is something that so many people are in on that it cannot be in that case. It's something that people have consciously decided to keep a secret for thousands of years, and thousands of people I know it. So yes, I do think there has to be a reason.
Can I answer that? Whoa. Thing...
Oh, it's ladies' night.
Hold on. Yeah, no. Number one, it hasn't been thousands of years. Number two, when you say there has to be so many people involved with it, that's also that's fallacious reasoning. They compartmentalize. My father-in-law, quote unquote, helped build the Hubble telescope. He had top security clearance at Lockheed Martin, and he worked on optics. He went in there. He had to, relinquish his cell phone and everything. He had to, go into these clean rooms, do work what he worked on, and come home. You don't get to discuss what you're working on with anybody else, even within the company. Whatever you are clearanced for, that is what you work on, and that's all that you get to work on. So you don't know what it's actually going towards. There has only been a handful of people that have actually been into quote unquote outer space. What is it, like 24 people or something like that? Like, it's a very small amount of people. So to say that all of these people need to be in on it, they don't. It only needs to be a small amount of people that are in on it. And money and power and fear are great motivators to keep people silenced. And when you have the government doing those things to people, I mean, look at what they're doing right now. It's very easy to manipulate and control people with those kind of tactics. So it's also quite hilarious that this is usually the first question that people ask is, why would they lie? When everybody lies, number one. Like, if you can show me somebody who hasn't lied besides Jesus, like, that would be amazing to me, because everybody lies, right? We're all sinners. It happens. Even if it's a white lie, you're still lying. And it's the motivation behind it. There's plenty of reasons for the motivation behind it. I mean, we lie to our children about Santa Claus, right? Or I don't, but people do. They lie about the tooth fairy. They lie about all kinds of stuff just cause, right? Oh, it's tradition, or it's this, or whatever. There's so many different reasons that they would lie. And I do find it quite ironic that this is the first question that is asked. It almost seems naive to think that the government would not lie. And I don't mean that as an insult, because this is literally like the first question that everyone usually asks. Why would they lie? Why would this happen? But once you start to reflect on that and realize all the options there are for why they would lie, I mean, it is plentiful. So does that help a little bit? Does that kind of shine a light on that question?
Yeah, I completely understand what you're trying to say, but I thought about the reasons to why they lie, but I don't think any of them really give a good, justification. Sure, there's reasons for it, but none of them justify them doing this. You mentioned, lying to your kids and everything with, Santa Claus.
Really quick, you don't think money justifies it? You don't think money justifies
it? They don't really gain any money from doing this, though. All the money that goes to NASA would be given, it would be used anyway if, it'd go to something else if NASA didn't exist.
Really? Because NASA gets over what? Is it
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They get all that money.
That's a lot of money.
And all that money would get used.
So, okay. So let's set money aside. You don't think they get enough money for them to lie? That's a lot of money. I would think that that's a good reason. What about control?
Well, how do they control? I've heard this before. Sorry. I've heard this before with control, right? I don't get how it controls me, because me believing in something that is completely false, right? If I believe in it, it doesn't make them gain anything, because it doesn't make me act a certain way for them. So why?
Actually,
how does that control them?
I don't know if you've thought about this enough then, because when it comes to the control part of it, you have to imagine I've always loved this analogy. I can't remember who the first person who said it was, but so if you were in your house and they told you couldn't leave your house, would you want to leave your house? Would you be like, oh my gosh, they're keeping me in my house? How dare they keep me in my house? I want to be able to go and explore what's outside of my house. Would you want to do that? Or would you be okay with it? Now, what if they did your city? Person. What if they said you couldn't leave your city? Would you be like, what the heck? There's something else out there. I want to know what else is out there. I want to leave this place. Would you want to go and see what else is out there?
Yeah.
Okay, and if they did it to your country and said you couldn't leave your country, you'd want to leave that, right?
Of course.
Okay, so if they did it to the 60th parallel and said you can't go beyond that, wouldn't you want to freely explore beyond that? Because that's what they're doing right now.
They let us explore beyond it, though. That's the difference. They let us explore space. But, at least that's what I believe.
So now you're taking it up into the sky. I'm keeping it down on the ground. We are not allowed to travel beyond the 60th parallel.
What do you mean 60th parallel? I'm sorry. I don't know what that is. 60th parallel?
So the 60th parallel is a fictitious line that's drawn on the world that we are not allowed to travel beyond. And that is where they say that Antarctica is, right? So we aren't allowed to go and travel freely and explore what is out there. So wouldn't you want to be able to go and do that? Wouldn't
people
you
have done that
know
before.
What else is out there? No, they haven't.
Yes, people have explored Antarctica.
We are not allowed to freely explore there.
I mean, is there a border, you saying, around the edge of the world? Because people have definitely tried to explore Antarctica, and many people have come back from there.
No,
It's only controlled.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, it's not really control because it's not making me act in a preferable way for them. Yeah, control.
You're just lying, bro. You're lying.
No, I'm not.
I live in New Zealand. People go to Antarctica. They can't do what you're saying. You're full of shit.
So has no one come back from Antarctica? Explored Antarctica and never come back?
There's an Antarctic treaty which severely limits the method in which you may explore Antarctica. Yes, you can apply and you can go on a controlled expedition of some sort if you have tons of money, or you can, apply for a permit to go there and so on. If you do that, you will be extremely limited into where you can go, as well as limited into how much fuel you can bring, what kind of supplies you can bring, exactly where you can go, and so on. So to say that that people can freely explore Antarctica is just a complete falsehood. So it's okay that, if you don't know, a good recommendation, especially here in this server, where we require documentation and citations for any claim made. It's a good idea not to claim and say things about things that you know nothing about. I did not know about the Antarctic Treaty, and I'm much older than you, until 2 years ago when I joined the original 24/7 Flat Earth Discord server. You can find the text of the Antarctic Treaty. Have you read that? Or we can show you examples of people who were, arrested, killed when they tried to go down there. What is his name? Andhoy or something. I can show that to you in the live stream voice text if you want. But I would recommend not arguing about something that you clearly know nothing about with people who have clearly actually researched this. You cannot, Mushi, freely explore Antarctica. That is a matter of fact. Okay.
With that. I can't. Clearly, there's way more people in here, so it is only reasonable to assume that, since it's not really a fair argument, since there's several people against me, that you'd know more than me when it comes to certain things, and I can nor agree or disagree or prove anything that you said because I have not seen any of those documents myself. So I can't do anything about that.
One of the things that it's not about us knowing more than you. You reason fallaciously because you say that the reason for lying is not good enough. But if you can prove that someone is lying, the reason really doesn't matter.
Well, I don't think you can prove it, but I've already mentioned before that the methods of proving it we probably won't agree on. And I'm just trying to focus on if they are lying.
What's your method of proving the globe?
I don't really want to get into that because I'm a kid and I don't know much about science and astrology. And I've been in arguments like this before with flat earthers, and people have said big words that I don't understand because I don't know anything about science, right? So it's not really going to matter.
Is curvature a big word?
No, but measuring the curvature, the radius, everything like that, it gets very complicated very fast. I think you'd agree.
Why does it get complicated? Because it can't be done.
It can be done, but I'm too young and I don't understand, and I have to be very educated on the subject. And I think all of you would have to be very educated on the subject to talk on it.
We are. Why don't you think? Why do you think it is? Why do you think it's so complicated? I mean, it's either there and you measure it, or it's not.
I mean, it's very easy to say that, but it's hard to measure something that you're constantly on top of. Is anybody a scientist when it comes to maths or anything when it comes to measuring? Anybody? I don't think anybody's qualified to talk about that completely.
Mushi, we aren't like you. We don't require degrees to accept reality. But yes, there are several people in here who have degrees in science. That is not what we're here about. You're just admitting you can't prove the globe. So you came in here asking us why would they lie. Then you made claims about Antarctica, which we showed you are false. So now, if you are truly a person, which you just said, who has not looked into the science of it, hasn't looked into the measurement, then why aren't you asking us, what are the measurements and observations you've done that have shown you it's not a globe? Why are you not interested in that? I mean, that would be my first question if I were you.
Yes. Yeah, I'm interested in it, but it's something that's very complicated. I first want to recognize, right, if this is happening, there definitely has to be a reason. There has to be a reason for them to be making such a big lie, right? For me to understand this completely, I'd have to research many sources, and I'm very young, and I probably won't be able to understand that. I'm still doing high school maths. It's not going to be something
you only need middle school math to understand that the Earth measures flat and that the globe measurements are wrong.
Yes, but I've already discussed that we're not going to talk about that because we can't really, because like it's very hard and we won't agree. We won't agree on everything of measuring it, right?
Can you use your eyes?
I mean,
Do you know
what do you
how
mean by
to?
that? I know
Can
what
you
you
see?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
Can
with
you
the whole
see
thing.
water? Can you
Yes,
see
I can see
water?
it. Mhm.
Can you show us where it curves?
No, I can't because it goes too far for me to see.
Do you have binoculars?
Nope. And even if I did, I wouldn't be able to see it because eventually it curves down to the point where you can't see the very fine line.
Well, that's the point. It doesn't.
It does. Because if that was the case, right, when I looked at the ocean that was completely, let's say we found a very clear ocean, right? If I go big enough binoculars, right, wouldn't I be able to see the other side? So, let's give
Can
me a
you
very big
see
ocean.
infinitely?
No, but if I
Is
had
your eyes capable of seeing forever?
Of course not. But if we had a big
Then
enough
why do you
binoculars,
expect to see to the other side?
because we can see stuff in space and we can see stars with binoculars. It's not.
No.
It's very, yes, we can.
They show you pictures of stuff in space. I'm talking about your own eyes. There's a
Yes,
difference.
with my own eyes, right? With my own eyes, I cannot see far enough because it curves down, right? With my own eyes, it probably shrink to
That's
the point
not
where
the
everything would go
case,
into the
though.
middle.
It doesn't curve down because
Meaning
they
that the
give
Earth
us
is flat.
the.
I mean, not
They
flat,
give
but-
us
yeah.
the measurements. They
Mhm.
give us the measurements of what the curve, where the curve is supposed to be.
Mhm.
We know that if you do the globe math and you are on 1 foot observer height, the curvature is supposed to go down. It goes up 8 inches per mile squared. So the further you look, the higher up you go, the more it's supposed to go down.
Yeah.
So if you're at 1 foot, you should not be able to see further than, I think it's 1.23 miles. But we have pictures, we have laser tests, we have people going out every day proving that that is not what's happening in reality. And you can go out and do this for yourself. See with
Yeah.
your own eyes.
Okay. Seeing with your own eyes and also accounting with science, right? I can't do that because I don't know what methods to use. And if I
What
use
is
certain
science?
science is, I say science, but I don't know the exact word for it. It was like measuring the curvature of the Earth, right? And also the Earth is not a complete sphere, as in it's not a perfect sphere, right? So certain parts will be more bumpy than others, or certain parts will be like higher or lower, like for some terms, right? So I can't complete. And I've already discussed this, like that we can't do using science because I won't understand it.
But you're
I'm not science.
confused. You're confused thinking that you need to do science to measure the Earth. It's just a measurement question. That's all you need to do is measure it.
Yeah, I don't know how to measure, and most people don't. And it's complicated. It's more complicated than you'd think because it depends on the curvature of the Earth and the position you are in. It can highly depend, and I don't know enough about it, right?
No,
So
it's pretty-
I've already said that we shouldn't talk about that, right? Because at the end of the day,
No, you
at the end of the day, you're gonna tell me it's simple, right? You're gonna tell me how to do it, and I'm not gonna be able
Mushi,
to
you don't get to
confirm it.
decide. You don't get to decide how it goes here. So you don't get to come in here and say, "Oh, we're not actually going to talk about science or
No,
measurements.
I mean,
we're
you
going to
said
talk
I
about
could.
sociology. Why would they lie? We're going to talk about psychology. That's fine. I mean, you can ask what questions you
Yeah.
want, but we can ask you questions back. You are a person. So am I wrong or am I right? Do you think that you live on a globe?
Yes, I do.
And why do you think this?
Because none of my senses deny it, at least from what I'm aware of. And I don't think there's a real reason for that.
Your senses tell you that you're on the globe. Okay, explain to me that. Where have you observed
I
this
think
globe?
it's
and
not that
felt
my
this
senses.
motion?
It's not that my senses tell me I'm on a globe. It's that my senses don't deny it. And also, what you were saying, with there's no reason for anyone to be lying about this. I was saying, right? I still think that's valid.
Hold on.
Oh, we don't care about the lying. No,
Yeah.
we ask why you think it.
Yeah, that's
Who else?
why
Somebody else has questions.
That's why I
now.
think.
I just want to. Wait, hold on. Okay,
that is
so we
that is
you're
that is
you're
why I
getting
think.
really
What do you mean?
excited. Just take it down a notch for a second. You're getting really
Okay,
excited.
yeah.
Take it down a notch.
Mhm.
You just said that none of my senses deny it.
Yes.
Then when she said something about your senses, you said, "Well, it's not that my senses don't deny it. It's that my senses don't deny that it is on a globe." What does that
No,
even mean? Because our
I said-
hold on, because our senses tell us that we are not rotating, our senses show us a horizontal horizon.
Mhm.
We see no curvature anywhere. So why would your senses have anything to do with telling you that it is a globe?
Because some flat earthers try to use your senses to justify why you're on a thing, right? That is the point that I'm using, right? When I'm in a train, right, and I'm traveling, and it's going at the same speed as smooth road, right? I don't feel myself moving, right? But that does that mean I'm not moving?
Nope. Okay, already
And
right
your
there.
senses
Number
can
one,
be
a
deceived.
train. Okay, I was just. Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
number
So
one, right there, a train, if I can get a word out, is an enclosed system. You can feel movement on a train. You will see your water glass jiggle and move no matter what speed you're going. It is not perfectly perfect. So you would feel some kind of something, and we never do. So you, number one, invoking an enclosed system as a train. Number two, we do feel the train moving. So that was a bad analogy.
I mean, I don't think you do. Like when I'm in a car, right, and it's going through a smooth road, and I can't feel the bumps on the road, right? And I'm not looking at the
Feel that
water
you're in a
as
car.
it's shaking, right? When I'm just sitting there, I don't constantly feel myself. I can't, like, say I'm going 80 miles an hour, I'm going 100 miles an hour. I can't accurately feel it.
Something wrong
Since
with
I was
your
born on
sense.
an earth that is being rotated and moving its entire time, I don't know what it feels like when it's not moving. So how would I ever determine
You
it?
know, we're also on an ellipse, right? So there is actual acceleration of the Earth in the ellipse. We don't feel that either. So you
We
can
don't.
try and wiggle out of this and use analogies that are completely not thought through and are poor analogies based off of your own model. And if you can't realize that, I hope that you listen back to this and hear how they are bad analogies. Really take the time to ponder this because you aren't
Okay.
coming with anything that's very strong right now.
I'm not coming with anything that's particularly weak, I would say. At least from what I'm saying, because
you
it's
have
not been completely denied what I'm saying.
Okay,
It's been,
Mushi,
you've
so
suggested that it could be
we're
wrong.
moving. We're moving, we're spinning, the Earth is supposedly spinning around its own axis and it's going around the sun. And this whole thing is moving through the supposed galaxy, right?
Yes, yeah.
Why have the stars never changed?
The stars?
Yeah,
They've never changed,
the
as in,
things you
yes, they.
see in the sky.
Oh, I mean, they've.
Why can you use stars to navigate? Why do you see the same night sky every night? Why does it
Well,
never change?
first of all,
If you have all of that motion, why do you have the same night sky constantly?
I'd like to point out that we don't. When Jesus, right, in the Bible, when it says the North Star was pointing complete north, right, like dead to north, right, historically accurate, right. The sky has been moving. It is not, the North Star is not complete north now. It is not dead on north. It has moved slightly, and we have been shifting. And even if we hadn't, right, that would be because it's so far. I mean, can you verify? Can you deny it? No.
Prove
so
negative?
Yeah,
he's
can you
got a
prove it?
yeah, truth prevails. He's got a religious belief in the globe.
No religious belief. No, I don't. I do not have religious belief in it. If I can be completely proven wrong in every front and every frontier, right, undeniably, in every single way, I would not stick to something that I know is pointless.
Then show us the curvature. Bring us the place or the method that they've measured curvature.
I can't do that. I don't understand the maths.
See, how can you be proven wrong about anything because you think you're incapable of doing measurements? You think you're incapable of knowing anything. You think that you have to be told what to think. You think you have to be given all the
No, I
answers by
don't.
the authoritative
No.
figures.
I do not.
Then you can do a measurement. If other people can do it, it's easy to do a measurement. Okay, so you mark off your distances, right? You mark off your distances. You know what the distance is. You shoot something straight across it, or you try to get even if it's just a line of sight. If you have a line of sight and over a distance, and there should be a hump of earth, and there's not, then boom, there you go. There's no hump of earth. It's pretty simple.
I mean, first of all,
You can do it. I got faith.
you can try dumb it down and simplify it as much as you want, but there's various factors that affect it in loads of ways. And I'm not saying I'm incapable. I'm completely incapable there. As I made an analogy, right? I do think on my own thoughts as well when it came to the train analogy, right? As in movement, and I don't always feel movement. right? So that is me thinking on my own and me thinking in connection. So I don't blindly get spoon-fed everything I believe. I've converted religions before, right? Or at least gained a religion before. So I've changed my mind on several things and I don't just believe everything. I'm not a sheep, as you might believe. I'm not cattle. I don't do as I'm told. Exactly.
Well, good thing
My
is it
belief
doesn't require belief, and this is not the truth is not a religion. If you're willing to abandon religion, if you're able to do that, all you need to do is just accept objective reality. It's just to
Well,
accept
you
it
did
for what it
say
is.
it was almost like a religion how much I believe in the globe. I could say the exact same thing about you believing the earth is flat.
No, because we have a basis for
So what experiments have you done then to prove that the Earth is a globe? Because you said that you don't just blindly believe. So please do tell
Personally,
us.
yes, I have done 0 experiments personally as I am a
So then how
14-year-old boy.
were you able to even have this conversation based on the claims that you were making before?
Because I am
I
thinking
want you to
critically.
explain how it's a belief too. Explain that.
Because I am thinking critically. I am a 14-year-old boy who cannot confidently say as a 14-year-old boy that I know everything about measurements, right? And I don't have any other factors that I cannot consider in.
But you
I
can
don't. I could try my best.
You can't know anything.
No, I could know it, and eventually, in some time, I'm sure I will, right? And I will do this because this is something that's got me intrigued recently, right? And I've done some critical thinking, right? That does not require me to go outside and personally do an experiment, right? So I still think, right, that there is no one.
What is this critical thinking? We're all on the edge.
My
of our
critical
seat.
thinking is 2 things, right? First of all, despite what you've claimed, I think there is no absolute reason, right, for why the government would lie about it. Second of all, I think too many people would be in on it. Like even pilots would have to be
Okay,
in on it.
do you think that people don't lie? Like, have you never lied?
Oh no,
ever?
of course, yes, of course, everybody lies. But it's completely different. There's a difference between a very well thought out lie that has been told by several people over history and a lie that you just tell just because you're bored. You can't link those together because they're completely separate. Of course, people lie.
You only
And when I
have to
admit that,
prove that someone is lying. You don't need a reason. You only
I mean,
need to
yes,
prove
you do.
that someone
Yes, you
is
do.
lying.
Yes, you do. Of course, you do. Well,
Okay, but hang on, hold on though. If we can establish that it's a lie, right, based on measurements, have you proven curvature? Because like
No.
I was listening before, and you haven't.
We've been through this.
So these.
We've been through this. You're bringing me to the same point over and over again. When I try and make advances to this point, you bring me back into it.
Well, I just got here, so I don't know why you're making claims
I don't
against
know who
me.
sorry, I don't know who you are because I've kind of mixed up the voices, but that's what's been going on so far.
Okay, so you've proved curvature then?
Of course, I haven't. I've told this before. I have not proved curvature. And it's not something that I can do easily. And as much as you'd like to simplify it down, right, it completely depends on what part of the earth you're on and what you're looking at. And even if that was the case, I have high school maths as a backup, right? I can't completely prove it, right? And my
But
senses
then why do you
can lie to
believe
me.
it though? Why do you believe it? Because you said you critically think, which I mean,
I do critically
that
think.
went
That's
on
why
a
I'm critically
tangent, but
thinking about the government's lying.
right. Okay, so you think that nobody has any motive? There's like
Nope, I don't say that. I said there has to be for normal lies, right? For a kid to lie, like a child to lie. Of course, they'd lie for anything for no reason because they're a child. But when you're telling a lie that is so elaborate, right, that several people are in on, that is gone out throughout history, there has to be a reason. It cannot just be of dumb luck.
So why is the lie so?
How many people are in on the Santa Claus lie, and how elaborate is that one, and how
Well,
crazy is that one?
I think, right, for anyone to be lying, let's say, right, you probably think there's like, let's say, for you, like a couple hundred people that are thinking about it, like are lying about it, right? For me, I think it is much more than that because several people throughout history have to keep up the lie, right? And have to back it up for themselves. I think even pilots, a citizen, I can become a pilot when I'm older, right? And for me to fly a plane, I would have to know the curvature of the earth and I'd have to consider it into my flight. If I didn't, as a flat
That
earther,
was
right?
actually a rhetorical question because it was just I wanted you to
Well,
think about it. But I think Andrew was
regardless, you wanted me
Well,
to think
now
about
we
it.
know he wants to be a pilot. Okay.
Nope.
Well, this is the. Oh no, you don't. Oh, okay.
No, I'm saying I could. You're taking what I said out of context. You're taking what I said out of context. I said if I became a pilot, I would have to know the true shape of the earth for me to
No, you
fly a
wouldn't.
plane.
No,
Yes, I
no.
would.
We've
How
been
would I
over
travel
Okay,
across
calm
the-
down. First of all, stop.
Okay.
Slow down.
You're mocking me,
Take a
though. You're
breath.
mocking me. You're dead ass mocking me.
Take a breath. Slow
Cool.
down. Drace has
Mhm.
posted a couple of images over in the chat, and if you wanted to learn how to fly a plane, You do
Yep.
not need to know a single thing about the curvature of the Earth because
Can I
you
add
are
something?
trained and
Not right now,
taught.
Bacon.
Mhm.
You are trained and taught to treat the Earth as if it is a non-rotating, stationary plane.
Okay. Well, if that was the case,
Okay.
if the Earth was flat, right, certain countries would be much closer to each other, right, and it would take a lot less
Quick change
distance.
of subject. That was awesome. That was a complete
No,
change.
yeah, sure,
What just
sure.
happened?
I can't prove that. I can't prove that. But regardless, we're still on
So
the same
then why
subject,
are
so
you
no problem.
making claims that you can't prove? Like, how long has this been going on for, Mushi?
So you can
Mushy?
disprove them for me. That's why I'm here.
Did you
So-
even hear what
We're
she
not
said?
here. We're like,
So you can. I'm making claims, right, and I'm making stuff, and I'm making allegations, right, and I'm asking questions. The whole reason I'm here is so I can think critically and be disproven. Why are you making fun of me for that?
Can I ask you something?
Can I interject?
To see if I can be disproven. That's
Bacon-
why I'm here.
just hang on. There's people talking.
No, I want to be part of the conversation. I think I have some shareable.
What did you send me, Jamesy?
Are you a woman?
Well, Sophia, I believe, was going to respond.
I'm just about to ask Bacon that too.
I want to ask you something about something you said earlier. You said with the curvature thing, right? You said that it would depend on where you are on the ball. So I would just like you to think about a ball and then maybe
Okay.
just explain to me, is there any part of a ball that doesn't curve?
If you listen to me properly, you would know that I said the Earth is not a complete perfect sphere. So certain parts are not a
But
perfect
the
sphere.
pictures show a complete perfect
Yes, from
sphere.
outside, from a far
But
away,
how
right?
do you prove these claims? How do you
Because
prove
science,
these
because
things?
science says this.
Because
So,
science what?
I mean, your
What is
your
a
science?
all your
photo
claims, all
from
your claims are made
NASA
up.
is science now? Is that the claim you're making?
I mean, this is the whole point of this is right, proving one
No.
side wrong.
I asked you a question. Are
Yes,
you gonna
that is the
answer
claim
that?
I'm making because the whole point of
So
this
you
is
think
proving one side
you
wrong.
think a photo from NASA is science? That's what you're saying, right?
No, no photo from no. That's not what I'm saying. You're taking my words out of context. I'm
That's
saying.
what she just asked you though, and you said yes.
Yeah, I know. You said, do you you talking about? Do you believe in like NASA? So NASA is the scientists here. Yes, they are, but I'm not basing off of one photo. They have they have loads of things analysis. It's not just that one photo, and you know that. So why are you acting like it is?
Well,
Okay,
I think
so
there's
claiming
a.
a photo was science, so I had to call you out on it and see if you
said
agreed.
you
But
asked me
anyway.
if you think if I think right that NASA has science right and is science right and they have scientists, so I do think they're scientists. And you said, well, do
NASA
you think
is
one photo?
science.
Yeah, no, they do scientists. They have scientists, right? And they make answers for science. Like that's basically what you're trying to ask me, right? And then you went and said, right? How do you base that off of one photo? I don't. NASA has loads of evidence, right? That is, you're acting like NASA has one photo to prove everything, which they don't. And you know that. They have countless sources. So why are you acting, right? Why are you pretending that that's the only thing? Why are you demeaning me like that?
Okay, can you listen? Can you just listen?
I mean, if you listen
just
to
a
me,
teeny tiny.
We've been listening enough.
Listen.
Just be quiet,
if
Mushi.
you listen to me, then you would have known the whole.
Oh,
the Earth isn't
just
completely-
calm
spiraling,
down.
please.
Sophia
You're
has
literally-
something.
Ah.
Mushi. Sophia has something she'd like you to say, and before she says it, I'd
Go
just
ahead.
like to say, maybe if you're such a fan of science,
Mhm.
consider setting aside the presuppositions that you're absolutely sure you live on a globe,
Yep.
and just pretend. No one here knows you. You just pretend for a minute that there's
Mhm.
some tiny little chance that the globe model might be false, and just
Yeah.
calm down. You already have all these presuppositions, not just about the globe, but about who we are. You started talking about your senses, then you started
Mhm.
talking about the critical thinking, all these buzzwords that are swirling around in your head. Just try to calm down your mind.
Okay.
Listen to what Sophia says and respond to what she actually says, not
Okay.
to what you think flat earthers are, not to all these straw men that you've brought with them. Leave those straw men
Yeah.
aside and just listen to the actual people that are here in front of you.
Of
All
course,
right,
yes.
Sophia, what did you want to say to him?
Okay, so I think with this one we might have to go back to just what exactly in your mind do you think science is?
What is the definition of science? I'll have to look that up. It's not very.
Can
I guess
you?
it's proving
No,
something.
I don't think you should look it
Let
up.
me- let me
I
look
want to
this up
say what
quickly.
you. Oh, you have to look it up. That's too bad. Because
Yeah.
I'd really like to hear what you just think,
It's,
like off
of
your
course I
own
can give
words off
you-
the
Your
top of your head.
critical, use your critical thinking mind, Mushi, and tell us
Nah.
what science is.
If you want to
Science.
look it up,
Without
that's
looking it
fine.
up.
Oh,
I don't.
no,
Yeah, I don't know.
here.
I don't know a definition.
First, without looking it up, then look it up.
Okay,
That's
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Critical thinking
wanna do
isn't
both.
supposed
I
to
wanna
give
do
you
both.
word definitions.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, so
it's hard to give
my
definitions to
point
words.
is, my
It's hard
point
to give
is, you
definitions to
come
words,
in
especially
here
in
and
science.
you come in here and you scream at us, science, science, science.
Scream.
But we disagree on what you think that word means. So let's start
Mhm.
at the beginning and
Yeah.
determine what exactly is science and what is it used for and how is it used? What does it do?
First of all, I have not
So-
come in here and mentioned science. In fact, the first thing I've done is said, let's put aside science because we won't agree on
Why
it.
are you arguing?
Because this is an argument. I'm arguing.
Let's let's determine what
What
the
did you
science
think I was doing?
means.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I want to point something. I want to address
You
something
want
that
to learn.
This is an
Yeah.
argument. I don't know why you
do about
confuse an
science
argument.
because he was claiming that NASA did science, that these guys that give them this information does science. But I want to read what Michio Kaku says. He says, "You're not going to believe this. In science, we always say that you make observations, you have a theory, you go make more observations, and it's a very, very tedious process." And he says, "Wrong. Nobody that I know of in my field uses the so-called scientific method. In our field, it's by the seat of your pants. It's leaps of logic. It's guesswork."
Mm.
And they're off by over 95%.
Mushy,
you're-
so for
They're wrong.
something to
It's not science.
Mhm.
for something to fall within the scientific method, you would have to be able to observe it firstly, right?
See, this is why
Does
I
your
didn't
brain
want to.
tell you that? You have
Not
to be
necessarily
able
the
to
first, though.
observe something.
Yeah, not necessarily the first, as Bacon
Yeah,
said. but-
that's why experiments are for. They're
yeah, exactly. And this
But you
is
still
the
can
main
produce
reason.
observations.
Yeah, so if you do an experiment, you have to be able to observe something, you have to be able to measure something, and that experiment has to be you have to be able to repeat that, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, so now we want to know if that is the definition of science, where is the
Right.
science where they observe and measure the curvature of the earth?
Look it up. That's pretty easy. I'm not gonna spew out all of it because I don't know off by heart. If you do a quick Google search or if you go into NASA's official thing, right, page, you will be able to see some knowledge on it. There's countless websites for middle schoolers.
Okay, so
for
I don't
high
need to go
schoolers.
to a website. I can just go outside, right? So
Nope,
I
because
want to
it's not
know
that simple.
outside with the math that they give us,
Mm-hmm.
why does it not add up in reality?
Doesn't
Why
it?
can we see further than we're supposed to?
Because you're not counting. You're not accounting refraction. That's why.
Yes. I don't know the exact science. This guy seems like he's more educated in the subject, right? And I've seen videos, but I've not delved into why, right? So you keep on
So
asking me
you've
these
never-
questions about. Listen to me, please don't cut me off. You keep on asking me these
Never
questions
tried
about the
to
curvature.
look into this,
Could you
but you
please?
come to argue with
Okay.
us.
I've already explained this to you, and I'm going around in circles. So please let me finish.
Shut
my
up,
sentence.
kid. Listen to the woman.
You say
he
you
was
haven't
answering.
you haven't looked into this at all, but you come here claiming stuff and then arguing with us.
Not at all. I wouldn't say not at all. But I've seen at least the basics. And did I not come in here and say, like, the first thing I said, right, is I'm not extremely educated on the science, right? So let's think about this critically.
So why
from
are
a
you
mental-
Good thing whether or not
Mushy.
the Earth is curving is not a science question. Good thing it's a measurement question, right?
How did you measure that?
Mushy. Please.
Yes.
You're not understanding. You keep saying how you don't know anything. You're sure all these people
Oh my
smarter
God,
than you have
Jesus.
figured it out. You're not old enough, and so on. And yet you're coming in here so confident that you're right. Do you not? I mean, I understand. Like part of it is the youth. Okay, I understand.
Yeah,
But you don't. You assume that whoever these mysterious they are that have definitely proven this have done it, but you can't bring it to us. You say, "Oh, just go look it up." Why don't you look it up? That's
I
what
have-
I did. That's
I
what
haven't done
I
nothing.
did, and I found there was nothing. Because when you take the actual radius of the Earth that they claim, which is 3,959 miles, And when you test that in reality, which is the claimed curvature, that if you Google what is the curvature of the Earth, the answer you will get is approximately 8 inches per mile squared is the rate at which the curvature.
That formula is wrong.
Oh my gosh. Are either of you capable of listening to anyone for more than 10
Yeah, we did.
seconds?
We did listen, and you made a false claim, and I pointed it out. That's a false
I
formula.
know it's false. Yes, absolutely. Google is wrong, and the mainstream model is wrong when they claim this. This is
That
what
wasn't
we're
my point.
testing. You're absolutely right that it is incorrect. The
That
Earth does
wasn't my point.
not, in fact, curve at a rate of 8 inches per mile squared, which is what you will find
wasn't my
roughly
point.
when you
That
look.
wasn't
Okay,
his
I'm going to
point.
mute both. I'm going to mute both of you until I finish my point because you
Sure.
guys are rich.
Okay.
You guys are little brats who come in here thinking you can lecture us, having no idea what our credentials are or what kind of research we've put into this. And we're trying to explain to you the facts of your world. And you're in here defending the system, even though you're young people. You are a sore excuse for youth. Used to be youth would question authority, would not go to school and just lap up the nonsense and come spewing it out, even admitting they have nothing to back it up. And you're in here with your little attitudes thinking you're better than all of us. You know nothing about us. I know a lot about you two because you've exposed yourself left, right, and center. Doesn't matter what little formula you use, Bacon. It's still approximately the same. And we're talking about thousands of feet of drop that should be there. For example, when I've seen the city of Chicago across Lake Michigan, the entire skyline should be hidden, according to any formula you want to spew out at me, Bacon. At thousands of feet of curvature, that skyline should be hidden. Yet I can see the city of Chicago across Lake Michigan. You don't got any proof of your globe. You don't even claim to have any proof. You just got lies. You got buzzwords. You think you're critical thinking because you went to school and they gave you a worksheet and said, if you fill this out the way we said, you're good at critical thinking. That you guys don't even know what critical thinking is. You are the opposite of a critical thinker. So somebody, because you filled out the critical thinking worksheet properly and you spewed the propaganda properly, they said, oh gosh, you are the most amazing critical thinker ever known to man. I'm here to tell you guys, you don't got logic, you don't got critical thinking, and you do not have any proof of curvature or rotation.
Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Get him.
Oh, so you muted us so you could make a bunch of false claims and we can't respond to
Dandelion,
anyone.
can I?
Name the first
Yeah.
false claim, Bacon. Name the first false claim and we'll address it one by one.
Yeah, that
claim,
we admitted to have nothing to back us up. We never said that.
Okay, bring us the proof of curvature or rotation. We're waiting. Where's your verifiable, scientific, testable, repeatable, provable evidence of curvature, rotation, or motion of any kind in regard to the Earth where we live? Live stream, voice, text. I'll give you a few minutes while I talk to Mushi to come up with it, Bacon.
All right.
And he's got
One
an
way you
annoying
can
voice as
prove
well.
rotation is with a simple experiment called the Foucault pendulum. I'm sure you guys are familiar with this, right?
Not an experiment, not a demonstration.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it yourself. I mean, many people done in their own houses.
That is, no, that does not.
Did you
You
just
do
say
not have any
Cavendish?
proof of the cause of any kind of motion that you claim is being done by.
It matches pretty much what you would predict from a spinning Earth rotation.
Again, and yeah, you're getting off topic. That isn't curvature. Like you are.
She asked for 3 different things. One of them was a spin, and that's the easiest experiment
Yeah,
you can
because
make.
you got to get away from curvature, right? You can't stick to curvature.
No, I don't have
Curvature
to.
should be the easiest one.
No,
So
it
then
shouldn't.
give us curvature.
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't be the easiest one because when
There's
you're
no
using,
evidence of spin, you retard.
because when you're looking to things beyond the horizon, you're assuming light is traveling in a straight line. And that's false. So you have to account for refraction, and refraction depends on many factors. So that makes it
Do you even know what
extremely
refraction
hard.
is?
Sorry, of course I do.
You know, okay, what is it?
Yeah, it's when light bends when it goes from mediums in which it travels in different speeds.
No, when it's the boundary between two mediums.
Yeah, you don't need a
It
boundary.
occurs. Yes, you do.
No, you
It
don't.
occurs
You-
at the boundary between two mediums. Show me refraction.
when you have a boundary, you know what the principle of the refraction is? That's not refraction is not like a universal law described in English that atoms are trying to follow.
All all over the place. You're going from curvature.
No, I'm just telling you guys.
You went from curvature to Cavendish to now we're talking about refraction.
Never mentioned Cavendish.
I mean, this is ridiculous.
Be quiet.
This is out of control. You're spiraling.
No. I mean, I didn't even mention Cavendish. You're just making too many false claims and not letting me answer when.
What false claims are we making?
That I went to Cavendish experiment, for example.
I asked earlier, did he just say Cavendish? You said anybody can do this experiment at home. Then what experiment were you talking about?
About Cavendish. I was talking about Foucault's pendulum.
Oh, well, that one's just as bad.
You're making nothing but.
It's nothing but straw man after straw man after straw man and spiraling. Like, every argument you keep bringing up that deflects from the one that we were previously having because you don't have anything for that argument. I mean, you're just spiraling. Let's stick to a topic. We were talking about curvature, measurements, curvature. We can stick with that. Mushi and all of us were at least like staying on track. Like it might have gotten out of control, but at least he was able to stay on track.
Well, actually, I answered what you asked for.
Go back to Mushi if you want. We can mute this guy. Mushi didn't get to respond. He had something to say a while back. So
I honestly, I don't remember what I was saying. Okay, the whole thing. Dandelion, I don't know who said it, but it was kind of demeaning the way you were talking to me with me saying, I get that I'm
was, because you need somebody to slap you on to make you realize you don't know what you're talking about.
That's not what I mean.
Coming in here with your attitude. Okay, Mushi, I do not like to bring out my credentials. You keep tempting me to bring them out. I'm still not going to. I'm still not going to because you make these assumptions that you know better than everyone else and that these so-called scientists know better than everyone else. And they don't. And even other scientists, you love science so much. There are many other scientists who come out and say astrophysicists are just full of it. They do not use the scientific method, which was just explained to you, because the scientific method requires a natural observation. There is no natural observation possible in the case of a globe. In terms of this, Foucault's pendulum that Bacon's talking about, not scientific either, because you're not controlling the variables. There's no proof that any kind of motion that you're finding in that pendulum. Have you discounted the possibility of electromagnetism being a factor? No, you have not. They just claim, look at that thing, it moved. That means the earth is moving. I mean, that is like a child's view. So if you would like to stick around this server, I hope you do. Although I have to say, this is the low-key version of what you'll find if you stick around this server. I hope you do. I hope you get to talk to some of the guys in here, because you need to be taken down a peg, because you're a young person. You got your life ahead of you. You are brainwashed by the system. You think you're a critical thinker. You think what I'm saying is funny because you have this perception.
No, that's not what I think is funny.
Okay, what do you think is funny? Go ahead and tell me.
I think it's funny that you've misunderstood me.
Okay, tell me what I misunderstood.
First of all, you've said that I'm a huge scientist and I'm a science nerd, right? And I've come in here spewing out all the science.
Science is what we like. You said if NASA said it, then you're going to believe it. NASA said that okay, Nishi, here we go. You believe NASA? NASA says right on their own website that that blue marble image of the Earth, which is one of the most popular images of the globe, put on the first iPhone home screen, that they created that image. I put the link in there from the live stream voice text, exact quote from NASA.gov. They wrapped a flat map around the ball, and Robert Simon, whose job is data visualization and designer, my part was integrating the surface, clouds, and ocean to match people's expectations of how the Earth looks from space. So so you told me you're sure you live on a globe. What's your percentage certainty on that?
Honestly, obviously I could be wrong. I think critical thinking is thinking out of the box, right? I should be able to think. You
are in the box, believe me. You're in the box.
I should be able to think hypothetically. I think, right, there's obviously a possibility, right? There's a possibility of everything. There is a possibility that Earth can be flat.
What's your percentage certainty?
I have no idea. I would say I'm about 95% sure that the Earth is thing.
That's
and also with the whole science thing, right? Why do you have a guess, right? Have an assumption on why you think, right? I joined the server and joined this crew, and the first thing I said is I don't know enough about the science, right, to talk about it. So we should discuss that, and let's talk about why this would happen. Let's talk about reason. Let's talk about psychology.
Because you don't need no. That's where people go who don't want to deal with what we just explained.
I will deal with that eventually.
So okay, then Mushi, I just told you that at the radius of 3,959 miles, the mainstream model predicts
physics, curvature will increase at the rate of 8 inches per
Mhm.
mile squared, and yet we see objects
I
in the distance.
don't know
and we have
what you're
multiple
talking about. You're just
observations which
saying
go way-
numbers. I
Okay,
can't
we can
understand that from my
say
head.
we can see way further than we should if we were on a globe of the dimensions claimed. What
I
is your
cannot deny anything
explanation
you're
for that?
saying, and I cannot prove them,
Okay,
and
so
you
why
know
are you
this.
not more interested? Why are you not curious?
I am interested, but right now it's something extremely complex. I have just gotten to this, right? And the thing is, right, if the Earth truly is flat, that without a doubt, you definitely should be able to tell me these simple questions on why the government would do this.
I'm not the government.
Hold on.
But can you prove that? Can
read their mind.
Yes, I can. And why?
Can you
Why
prove
can't
the
you tell me? I don't
psychology
know
of
what's
it?
wrong.
Because
What is
here's
wrong?
what you're doing. Here's what you need to realize. You can't prove the
Ugh.
psychology of it. So you don't want to go on to something that you can prove. You want to go on to
No,
something
I can prove it. I can prove the
you're
psychology
wanting
of
to
it.
go on to something that you're more comfortable with talking about. You're
Well,
uncomfortable
yes,
with
I
talking
am.
about
I am.
this because you know this is verifiable. You know the psychology is not. So you're trying to move on to something that's not verifiable, that's not
Mhm.
provable, because you're not comfortable with knowing that this is verifiable and knowing that it tears and destroys down.
You're 50% right. You're 50% right. I'm not going on to science, right? As I said, I am not enough educated on it, and I do have to be properly educated, and I am new to this. So the reason I'm going on to the psychology, right, is because this claim of the Earth being flat would only work if it would make sense for people to lie about the Earth being flat, right? It would only work if that was
Do
the
you
case.
know? Can you define critical thinking? Can you define
I'm not good with definitions, but I understand
Well,
the
then you
basic meaning
okay.
of it.
So so what's the basic meaning of critical thinking?
Thinking critically towards something, but that's just that doesn't make any.
Yeah, that's not very good at all.
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Skeptical.
You're right. You're right.
It means being skeptical. It
Mhm.
means being unbiased. It
Yes.
means being able to look at something, take yourself apart from it, and actually, literally, be able to critically analyze it and think
Mhm.
about it from every single possible angle. You have
Mhm.
not been able to do that in a single one of the conversations that have taken place here.
If that was the
all
case-
all you have done is said, "Nuh-uh," like literally. That's all
You're-
you've done
you're
this
disregarding
entire
everything I'm
time.
saying. Like you.
No, I'm not
Lucy,
disregarding
I want to
it.
go back to your original, what you just said and what you started with.
Mm,
Okay,
thank
so
you.
for
Thank
some reason that's very important to you. It is not necessary for
Some reason.
everyone in the world to be in on this lie. Many
Yes.
people, like for example, when I used to teach science in the public schools, I believed we were on the globe. I was sure somebody had proved that. And so I also passed that on to my students. I was not sitting there consciously lying to my students. Very few people need to be actually understand that this is a lie for it to
I
be
disagree.
perpetuated generation after generation. In the case of NASA.gov, I mean, we have Robert Simon right on the NASA.gov website saying they use CGI to create an image of the globe. So the other part of it that you have, Mushi, and please just consider this. You admit, you have the humility to admit that you don't know everything and so on. I'm here to tell you there are many very intelligent people in this world who know the globe is nonsense. You're
So I should
not
blindly
going to
trust
see.
them.
Oh my gosh.
Is that what you're saying? Because this whole point is
No, that
you
is
said to me-
absolutely the opposite of what my
No,
point is.
you said to
Are
me-
you going to force me? I'm here trying to respect your original question. Oh, somebody muted you. Good. Because you do not get the concept of communication at all. I'm here trying to humor your original question, even though it's pointless, because if you actually looked at the measurements, which, as I explained to you, only require middle school Pythagorean theorem math to understand, then you wouldn't need to worry about all this motive, psychology, and so on. But because you care so much about that, I am trying to explain to you how it's possible. So, for example, the first man who explained to me that the moon landings could not have possibly happened scientifically the way they were said to have happened in 1969. That was a PhD pharmaceutical researcher who was a family friend of mine, who was one of the smartest men I knew from other things that he told me. So when he explained to me, they really didn't go to the moon. At first, I'm like, whoa, what is this craziness? But then I listened to him. I knew he was an intelligent man, and I heard his reasons, and I realized, what many of us here have realized, even if you don't understand the earth is flat, I understood this decades before I knew the earth is flat, that was a film propaganda piece that they put out in 1969. Obviously, if you can't handle the flat earth,
we can put some sources in here to maybe look into the moon landing first. If you can't understand why people would lie, and you don't understand the concept of classified levels of government or whatever cover story they came up with, that it was, because of Russia or whatever nonsense, if you want to start at a baby level, we'll get some resources for you to look into the moon landings, because you want to critical think. You need to start critically thinking about, and maybe you can't handle flat Earth yet, and that's perfectly fine. We can start with something that's easier for you to deal with, to see how the entire organization of NASA was founded on a lie for a very specific purpose, founded by ex-Nazis coming over here after World War II and so on. We can show you, pictures of the head of NASA with Stanley Kubrick, who did, I think, admit that he was part of the filming of the moon landing before he died. I mean, you're obviously very new to even the concept, which is just weird to me as a young person. Like, you seem like somebody just tells you something and then you just believe it, and yet you're fighting us so hard because and I don't know, like, what is it that makes you determine whether something is real? Not just popularity, or you just don't want anyone to make fun of you, or like, what is your motivation here, Mushi? If you really want to go into the psychology, why do you have so much trouble opening your mind to any other point of view except for the kindergarten level cartoon that's the evening news and your so-called science class?
I'd like to say, right, if I had zero critical thinking, if I blindly followed everything I saw, right, I would frankly just not be here. I would not be here getting my views vulnerable, right, and being able to be proven wrong in some ways, right? That is why I'm here, to see if my views can be challenged and if they can be proven wrong. So I am definitely, when I said there's a 95% chance, right, that I think the Earth is round, right, that is a 5% chance, and that is at least, you have to give me some credibility.
I do.
I
do. You know what? I do. 5% is way better. We had this guy who claimed he had a master's degree in engineering, which we question that, but this guy, Charlie, a few weeks ago, I used Charlie as an example, RIP Charlie. He said he has 99.9999999% sure he lived on the globe. You are 4.99999% more intelligent than this guy with a master's degree in engineering.
I wouldn't say that.
So I am impressed that you are here, Mushi, and I am impressed that you are sticking with it here. And despite I've kind of been roasting you, I know a lot of these ladies will be a lot nicer to you than I am, but I do give you credit for that.
You
ended it very well, Danny.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jenny.
The first thing you have to do is figure out what is science.
Why is it?
Figure out what critical thinking is as well. He still doesn't understand that.
If I didn't critical think, I wouldn't be here. We already mentioned that.
That's a fallacious statement.
That is a true statement.
No, it's not.
If I was somebody who 100% believed the Earth, like if I only thought my views could ever be right and nobody could ever prove me wrong, why would I come in to some Discord server, right? Have people oppose my views, right? And carry on arguing with them just for the fun
I
of it?
don't know. Let me put on a football jersey and go out onto the football field, because I wouldn't be there if I didn't know how to play football.
I mean, clearly I have some level of critical thinking. You already established that. Also,
it doesn't seem that way, but maybe we can.
I mean, you
we're
really
trying
agree.
to help you.
Taking it back, but okay.
Hey, Mushi, what's the name of your YouTube channel?
I don't have a YouTube channel.
Oh, that really sounds like it.
Why did you assume I did?
Because you keep going against. You keep going against. You claim you're here to learn, but you keep going against the proof. We keep telling you, look at this, look at that, but you'd rather want to talk about it. You don't want to look, you want to talk. That's
I'm challenging your views the same way you challenge mine.
No, it's not the same way, Honey Mushi, because we're actually using measurements, observation, reality. You're using something you heard on TV and your straw man view of what flat Earth is.
Not really. I've been in the server before and I've observed people. At least in the past, I've left before, and I've known about the idea of flat Earth for a while. But
if you had to give a proof to the globe to save your life, what would be your best proof?
My best proof, honestly, I don't have anything that's that prooful because I don't know enough about the science, and I'll do my research into that later, and I will do my research into that. But right now, I'm just trying to, because both sides of this argument have to be held up. If the Earth is truly flat, then there has to be a reason. And
you're a critical thinker.
Yeah, because I'm a critical thinker. I get what you're trying to say with that, right? The Earth could be flat and everything like that. There has to be a reason for it. So I am a critical thinker.
You don't
So how
understand
do
the
you
problem.
think-
With, looking for the motive first. That's really a problem.
How do you
I mean,
think we
not
became
really. Any
flat
way you can come,
earthers?
I'm looking at it from unique perspectives, so it doesn't really
How
matter.
do you think we became flat earthers?
You got convinced to become a flat earther by seeing evidence or proof.
How do
regardless
you
of
get
how real or not.
convinced of something?
You get convinced by somebody showing you something, regardless of its like. It could be proof. Maybe it doesn't have to be true though, because people can be convinced that they're an animal. They can be convinced about anything, right? But usually there has to be a reason or something that hooks you in.
So what if you test something for yourself and you find out that what you've been told is a lie?
Yes, if you did do that, which I'm assuming you think has happened to you, right? Then you would change your perspective.
So if we show you something and if we give you things to do and you go out and test it and you do find that they are lying to you, would you accept that?
Well, you know the experiment you guys were telling me about, right? If I did
It's
that
a yes or
experiment,
no
right?
question.
Yeah, it's a yes. It's a yes. It's a yes, right? If I did that experiment you guys are talking about, right, and I looked at ways that it was disproven, right, and I could not find any ways that the experiment was disproven, right, then there'd be like almost no room for like wriggle, right, and I'd have to believe it, right. I don't really have a choice in that way. I have a question about earlier though. I don't know who said it. I think it was Dandelion. You were talking about somebody who convinced you that the moon landing was fake and everything. I don't want to talk about that, but you're talking about how you got your your opinion from somebody else, right? So why is it when I get my opinions or when I look at people, right, and see their views from NASA, right, it's seen as me blindly following what somebody else says?
Because I'm talking. No, okay, go. I'm sorry. Your next question's not done. I'm talking about when I was a child. Let's start with that. I told you I was a child when this person explained to me about the moon landings. Regardless, I've done my own research since then and confirmed what it was explained to me as a child. But yes, there's a difference because I have learned over time how to evaluate information based on its merits and not use logically fallacious reasoning and evaluate, for example, you have used several times in here many different fallacies, the red herring fallacy, appeal to authority fallacy, appeal to majority fallacy, and so on. So, I mean, in terms of the moon landings, I did some research into what they claim, about how they did it, what they say about the heliocentric model, and realized that their stories don't match up within themselves. I analyzed it for myself. Same thing with the flat earth. Like I just told you, I made several observations of the city of Chicago over Lake Michigan, as well as other islands, lighthouses, and so on that I've seen on the Great Lakes over my lifetime that I should not have seen if I was on a globe of dimension claim. Oh no, please, Mushi, don't make assumptions about me. I went out of my way. I didn't even join this Discord until I knew it existed, but I did not join it until I was 100% sure on my own, with my own observations and research, that this was definitely true. Because in my particular case, it affects, yes, my career, my real life, and so on. And I knew it was a big can of worms I was opening. And so I opened it, I analyzed each worm, and I found that, yes, indeed, this globe model, even though I was just like you and thought, oh, for sure, somebody smarter than me definitely figured this out, it was very upsetting to me. I think you guys think that like we all want to be flat earthers or something.
No, of course
we are people who, when we examine the evidence, instead of deciding, oh, it's definitely a globe, so somebody must have figured this out, or watch some stupid debunking video that said, oh, those flat earthers are stupid, here's why, that don't even investigate it, we actually looked at the facts and the evidence and allowed them to lead us to the conclusions through logic, not by listening to other people. You cannot be a flat earther if you just think it because somebody else said it, because you have to then back it up and you have to deal with your friends, your family, your colleagues, people on the internet, and you are on your own most of the time. We don't think it just because someone said it, because you don't take an unpopular, revolutionary position in the most maligned,
most censored topic here on the earth. YouTube admitted in Congress that they do censor flat earth. Clearly, anytime you search flat earth, all you get is flat earth debunking. This is one of the few places on the internet, Mushi, you have come to the right place where you actually are going to get logical arguments, that you aren't just going to get propaganda and whitewashing. You don't take that position unless you are confident and you know that this is the fact, because you get to the point where you realize eventually, when you get rid of all the programming that you have been subjected to, you've demonstrated it to us very well today, even if you don't accept it, that you realize, oh boy, gosh, there isn't really any evidence of this globe. They do admit on NASA.gov that it's CGI. And so that is how it happens. Yes, please, Jenny, jump in there. We haven't heard enough from you.
Sorry, dear. I love everybody.
I'm done. I want you to speak because we haven't heard enough from you. What do you have to say to our friend, Mushi?
Yes. Oh, hi, Mushi. It's been nice to have you in here, and I hope you've enjoyed what Dandelion has said as much as I do. She's on fire tonight. But so one of our other moderators pointed out in the chat a few moments ago about the question about motive, and Dandelion, since you kind of have a one-on-one with him, maybe revisit that and explain to him why a motive isn't completely irrelevant.
Okay.
You don't need, it's what you came in here with, asking why would they lie. It's what you went back to when admitting you didn't have the science. That's what Jenny is alluding to here, is that we don't, if you can find objective evidence that a crime has been committed, in this case, the crime would be the lie, which is admitted. If you have a criminal, Robert Simmons, on NASA.gov website admitting he bilks the taxpayers and their whole thing is a lie, then you got a signed confession by the criminal. I don't care why Robert Simmons is lying. I don't need to know. I don't need to know to be able to see the evidence of the crime. The crime is the globe model. Lying to children is the crime. And so we don't need to know why the criminals are lying. In court, when they're trying to prove a murder case, they sometimes go into motive, but that's weaker evidence. If they have, if they got a closed circuit camera of the guy knifing him in the chest, they got a signed confession of the guy, saying I did it, like Robert Simmons, they don't need to spend a lot of time on motive. They just put that out there and the jury says guilty, right, Jen?
Yeah, I don't know if the example is going to go through for him because he's like kind of still a glober, but a future flat earther, I should say. Okay, so a real simple example would be you walk into a room and there's blood all over the place and there's a lifeless looking body on the floor and there's an arm missing. Okay, so you don't need to know the motive to know that person is no longer living and apparently they were murdered. So you have to look at the facts, things that you can verify. This isn't about, science has migrated into what is referred to more nicely as scientism, which is theory based on theory based on theory. But when you hold it to scrutiny, like as in the heliocentric model, it doesn't hold water. And so you have that, otherwise known as pseudoscience, which doesn't follow the scientific model of experimentation. Okay. Happens all the time, all over the place. It's happening even right now. That's why everybody's wearing a face diaper, because nobody knows science. Do you realize that?
Yeah, the whole of your example.
That way. Okay, so if you're curious, well, hold on. Sorry. I'll let you speak in a minute. If you're curious, I want you to look up something called Koch's postulates. Mm-hmm. None of those are being followed. That's all I'm going to say, and then we'll go back to flat Earth.
The whole of your theory of the dead body being found, right, is you can't completely, if you definitely found the body, right, and it was just like very plainly there, then it seems obvious, right? But with the Earth being flat, it's not a complete obvious thing to everybody. You have to somewhat think about it. So it's more like inferring something happened than completely knowing it. And in that case, then the jury would definitely think, is there a motive that this is happening in the first place?
You're
And
missing
with human motives, of killing somebody, it could be explained.
You're back, but you're back on the same thing, and yeah, you did not listen to her at all.
No,
right? Are we NASA, Mushi? Are we NASA?
No, that's not what I
okay,
mean, Bruce.
right. So then, why we've already established, right? Amazing example that we don't really have to concern ourselves with the motive because we have the facts, and we can determine that the lie has taken place. We're not them, but no, I'm not done though, right? So me telling you and speculating why would they lie would just basically being like what they're doing to us by telling us this lie. So why would we do that?
Well, that's not what I meant. I'm not questioning, right? That if you found dead body, like an actual dead body for sure, right? That and you knew the person that did it, right? That you wouldn't need like a reason for them to go to prison, right? But because you know they didn't, you wouldn't look for a reason without. Yeah, I know that, right? But I'm saying the thing is, it's not just a plain dead body. We don't exactly have the person. You played out like it's something that's just blatantly in front of you and that you can just see obviously, right? But it's something that's way more thing. That's why in an actual court case, right? If they had something that was implying that there was a body or implying there was a murder, right? They would look into why that murder would happen, and that would be much bigger evidence because it needs to justify itself to exist. Because we don't even know if the murder is true yet.
It doesn't matter. That's what
you don't know.
Look at the evidence first.
Because if something was only inferring a murder happened, right, you would need a motive as well. So you need something to back it up. And it's different with human killing, right? Because people can kill just because they want to, right? It's different.
It's the
With
same.
mass, you need a reason.
You have the dead body. You know the dude is dead.
You don't
have
necessarily.
the knife. Yeah, you're standing in the room. You're seeing the dead body. You can verify that it's dead. You don't need to know a reason to know that the body is dead.
Obviously.
You understand that?
Yes,
so that
I
is
understand
what
that.
she is saying to you.
And
We don't need the specific reason to know that they are lying.
We've been over this.
Okay, so then what aren't you getting then?
Do you understand what critical thinking is?
No,
you don't understand critical thinking.
I do.
Little tiny, hold on, no. This little thought experiment is like you're incapable of it.
I already said
still
yes.
don't even
I said if you
understand
found a dead body, right? I agreed with you, and I made another point.
You're
but you
missing the
haven't listened
point.
to me.
This is going nowhere.
If you found the dead
It's
body,
going
right?
nowhere.
If you found the dead body, right, and you had the person who did it, you would not need a reason onto why they did it. You can still put them to prison. I agree with that. I already said that. I've said it like 3 times.
Okay,
right?
this is
yes,
painful.
I agree with that.
This
right?
is
But the difference is that it's not a plain case where you just have the body. It's something that's inferring a murder happened, right? So we need a justification.
Okay,
hold
Mushi,
up.
we have a question. No, hang on. Hold on. There's a question in the chat.
That's what I was
Why?
going to say.
Okay, so, sorry. Oh, you go for it, Shine. Sorry, I didn't realize he had pinged you.
No.
You go.
No worries whatsoever. Is that Elijah makes a very great point, and this is a point made quite often. Okay, so I'm just going to read it out loud. We're going to take it really slow. Ask him what I asked. The question is, why does he think you would know their motive if they haven't given it?
You wouldn't, and you're trying to figure it out. That's the whole purpose.
But what does it matter what the motive actually is if you have the dead body?
In your hypothetical situation, the scenario you're given, it doesn't matter because it's a murder and it's happened regardless. But I'm telling you that this is not the situation.
No, you lack critical thinking.
I do.
Okay,
I don't. I literally. I agree with you completely, and I.
Can somebody
agree with
mute
you.
him? Is that okay? I'm kind of done. So
Cool.
sorry.
I mean, you're not
everybody.
listening.
Yeah.
No, you're not listening.
Is there somebody else that would like a moment or two to have the floor with a question or something?
Thank you, ladies. That was a bit painful.
Yeah, it was getting really painful.
That was hard to
I almost
listen
cut off
to.
the
Oh
mic.
my god.
Yeah, you had to put up with that for a while. Good job.
We tried, girls. High five.
Good job, ladies. Sorry.
All of us
You guys got
tried.
me excited.
Move on to the next Glober if that's okay.
Yeah, that's you,
Dude,
Sasha.
it's
Go ahead,
ladies'
ladies. Yeah, talk to
night,
Sasha. Yeah.
so
Don't you just feel sorry for him?
yes, that was very sad. I mean, he was almost, I don't know, he's probably not gonna sleep tonight, maybe. I don't, be like thinking
Oh,
about how the
he
earth was
thinks
flat.
thinking critically. Yeah.
I'm just surprised he hasn't breathed water in when he's taking a shower.
I believe he was just avoiding everything because he had somewhere he wanted to go and he was unable to get there, and I think that's what aggravated him.
Let's try not to make fun of him too much, though, because he's
Well,
just.
no.
Well, I
I
don't
mean,
know that anyone was making fun of him. I'm just saying that's
no.
just pointing out the facts. Like I
That
think
is
No, please, I'm saying it. I'm saying it because I almost did it. That's why. And if I can do something, then others can do too. That's why I'm saying it.
you're right, but I wasn't like that. That wasn't.
well, the reason why
that he kept trying to go in a certain direction and he was unable to get there, and that's what was getting him.
Oh yes, it was obnoxious at times for sure.
Yeah,
But he'll
kind
get
of a
there. He's
little-
14. He'll get there. In 10 years' time, he'll be in a totally different
Yeah,
place
sure.
for sure.
But you know what? That's the state of humanity. You know, if it wasn't him, if it wasn't Mushi, it would have been somebody else that would have came in here and been like that potentially. I mean, it's not the first time somebody's been like that, erratic like that. I thought he was erratic myself. But I'm not trying to be unfair. I am certainly not trying to be unfair. It's a process for everybody. That's my position.
100%.
So who's next? What did I miss from earlier, girls? Was it Mushi the only one?
I don't know. I came in really late, so I've not been here long.
Yeah, I came in
here.
As soon as I got home from work, I came in. So
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a flat earther, but I'm really, really struggling to understand this sextant part of the debate. Any of you ladies can bring some light to it?
I'm not proficient on that topic, but what are you stuck on?
I just got no idea what anyone's talking about. I was just in one of the other debate groups, and they're talking about the sextant, and I just cannot. My brain cannot put it together.
I don't know much about the sextants, but I do know that triangles take 90 degrees. You have to have angles, and you can't do that on a curved surface.
So you'd have to be familiar with geometry, right?
Yeah, and they keep on saying spherical geometry.
Well, I can't break down how the sextant works, but from what I've gathered, because I still haven't looked at
it.
But from what I've gathered, it uses a horizon, and you got to have, it's got to be horizontal, and then they take like a 90-degree angle, and they use the stars. So from the way I gathered, they need the horizon to be horizontal, and they need the stars.
Truth prevails.
Oh,
sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just want to say that Elijah had a something
me
for him
too.
to read. Okay, we're on it.
Yeah,
Each
I
time.
don't know. Let him talk, man. It's like,
Same page.
what's the difference in reading this stuff and letting him talk? Just let him talk.
Yeah, have our person who asked the question read what Elijah posted. So, is it Anthony? Anthony.
Yeah, he wants.
Anthony.
Do you mean the number one flat Earth proof?
No, the thing that Elijah just posted.
Elijah posted it at 40 minutes after the hour.
Tell Elijah he ain't no pimp. He can't be telling all the women what to do.
Thank you, Elijah.
That ain't gonna happen.
Hey, I did the best I could. All I know is 90-degree angles. You need that's the best I know.
But have him read that out loud. He asked the question, so that's.
So I'll read this out loud.
Seems like
will I?
that's the answer.
Yes, please
Okay.
read it out loud. Thank you.
All right. To ensure that the object is such small writing, so bear with me. To ensure that the object is at its lowest possible point, the sextant is rotated along the axis of the telescope, and the time of measurement and altitude are noted. By measuring the angle 0 of a known star from the horizon and using a book containing known reference values for the star in question at the time of measurement, it is possible to determine the distance r along the surface of Earth to the point at which the star is exactly overhead. From this, a navigator knows he is on a specific circle along the plane of the surface of Earth, of radius r, known as the line of position, LOP. He does not know this direction from this point. However, by examining a second star, a second radius can be deducted. The navigator now knows he is at one of the points where both the circular functions meet. In the case that there is only one real route, he knows his position, although this is only possible if the radii are parallel. More realistically, he can look up a third star in order to find the intersection between three circles. This will give him his location to a certain precision, based on the precision of his watch, altimeter, and the divisions on the reference table. There is reasonable scope for both human error and a cumulative lack of precision. Okay. Yay.
And there's another visual just posted as well for your convenience. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Ooh, and yet another visual. So I had to giggle a little bit when you were reading that document, and you know why?
Why?
I mean, well, because it says along the plane of the surface. Well, from this, a navigator knows he is on a specific circle along the plane of the surface of the Earth.
And it's like you're making two circles, so you're having two radii, and they have to be parallel. How does that work on a sphere? It's like, I think they think that it's something because it says the radius of the circle. I think they think that they have got you just because of the words that's used in it, without even considering what it's actually saying.
That's crazy.
But the radius of the circle is just what we're viewing. Like, we look at everything in a 360 degree. That doesn't mean it's actually, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like curvature.
I know. Yeah. They see that though, and the bells go off in their head. They're like, radius, radius.
Totally, exactly. Yep, circle is not a ball. Circle does not always equate a sphere. 100%.
That's funny.
I love all those devices. They're not I mean, I guess there's two or more electronic devices, but the best we would have would be mechanical ones. Telescope would be badass to have. This is round. This is spherical. Yeah, that's one of my pet peeves almost, when people come in and they say, Earth is round. It's like, okay, man, I don't know if I can help you. Yeah, I mean, if people are really resistant to what we're saying, they're just not ready for the information.
Yeah, I feel sorry for people because I think I know how everyone feels. I mean, I've been listening to debates, and especially with the sextant one, and half the side are saying it proves the globe, the other is saying it proves that it's flat. And I'm listening to them all talk, and I just can't understand.
Yeah, just educate yourself.
A lot of people just don't have it. Like, they just can't input the information.
Well, I definitely think the flat earthers are correct on this, because you have to have angles. And globers are trying to say that there are triangles that don't have 90 degrees, 180 degrees, like they're like way off with their triangles. Then you need to have this, they're confusing the circle of our vision of these angles with this circle, like as if it's a globe.
Yeah.
What I understand, and I don't know that much about sextants, but I've been listening to it a little bit over on Nathan Oakley's show in the morning when I can tune in when I wake up early enough.
Nice.
From what I understand, they're getting geometry completely confused, and they're jumbling words, and it doesn't make sense. Again,
Surprise, surprise.
I'm no, genius on it, and I haven't studied it that much. But just based off of that alone, I don't hear any arguments from the Globe as how it should possibly.
Does he have any of his videos titled for the topic of discussion of sextants by chance, or?
It's been happening these past couple weeks. Elijah might know better because he usually is there if he can tell us the exact ones. But I don't know if they're titled as such.
Yeah. All right, who's running the show? I don't want to take over. I joined late.
You're doing great. Take over.
No, I haven't been to ladies' night in forever. You girls have been doing
new, so I'm not taking over.
Yeah, Jenny, where you been?
Working like a fool.
Aw.
Yeah, my schedule changes all the time. It's so ridiculous. Hopefully, in the next couple weeks, it'll smooth out a little bit, and I might be able to come in more.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
I would, but I have to go.
Oh.
All righty,
Sophia.
Yeah, guys, it was good. Have a good night, everyone.
You too.
Hopefully we gave Mushy something to think about.
I don't
know. He knows it all, though. He's got that critical thinking mind.
Oh, well, it was good. I had fun. I'll see you girls again.
GTFN.
Later.
Bye.
Who's this English Hungarian bear that's server muted? Does anyone know who that is?
Oh, yeah.
Anyone know why he's server muted? I'm gonna unmute him. See what he's got to say.
No, he's been in here for a while. I don't think he ever really speaks up.
So who are we talking about? Oh, English Hungarian bear. Okay.
Yeah,
I think he's gone through 3 name changes to Truth, so I don't know what he used to be called.
Yeah, he didn't respond, and he was staying lit up when I unmuted him, so maybe that's why he's server muted. Not sure, but it's 10 to 8. Do we have any others? If we don't have any others, it's like, who wants to close it? Redford, do you want to? I mean, I don't know if you I don't know what you girls want to do. I'm just going to mute myself and let you girls do whatever you do. that's
No, who's running the show? Truth, go.
No, well, I mean, who do we have?
I know. Is there? Okay,
Wait, who's the Cat's PJs? That looks like a new name to me.
Yeah, I'm in here. I'm just listening. I'm already a flat Earth person. I was trying to think of questions to ask, but I don't have anything.
Well, why don't you tell us? Yeah, why don't you tell us how you came to flat Earth and all of that?
Well, I guess I don't know. It started just a few weeks ago. I don't know what tipped me off of it first, but I was listening to Eddie Bravo on the Joe Rogan Experience talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just really weird to me the way that I guess they were talking to him on that and how they thought he was being really ridiculous.
Joe Rogan's a flip-flopper, right? He used to talk about the moon landing all the time. Now he doesn't because he was told not to.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. I'm learning a lot of things. But
so anything that Eddie Bravo kind of stuck on you or what? Because he's kind of an OG.
I guess he was just kind of look into it, and they were kind of refusing to look into it, and it was kind of interesting to me at that point that
okay, so condemnation.
He was being more scientific than they were. Sorry.
Oh, I don't doubt that at all. So it's really kind of embarrassing that condemnation before investigation is the height of ignorance.
Yeah.
So you really have to, bear that in mind. And, something that's really valued around here is intellectual honesty. So feel free to always, say, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just make stuff up. Especially when there's people that come in here. I guess they're being dubbed anti-flat earthers. So it's a different dynamic, I guess, of people's popular opinion, I guess. But anyway, so could you think of one thing that Eddie Bravo said that really kind of, besides him saying look into it?
I guess it was like he just looked at like there's supposed to be like the Discover satellite or whatever. And he looked at it and he was like, looks fake to me, and they thought it was ridiculous. And at that point, that's when I started to like look at the NASA images and just be skeptical about it. And
that's a deep rabbit hole.
It's just like the instant you put any critical thought into it, you can tell that like all the images are fake. It's unreal.
Oh yeah, CGI imagery. We're just so used to seeing it. That's the whole thing.
And we don't have any
Oh, did he drop out for anybody?
Yes.
Okay, it's not just me. Good. Hopefully he'll be back in a second. Oh,
I don't know if my internet went out for a second. Am I here?
who was I talking to? I wasn't checking the list. The cat's PJs?
Test?
Yeah, we can hear you. And yeah, Jenny, I believe that was his name.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Anyway, you were saying keep going.
Where did I stop at? I don't even remember. I guess
I think we're. Oh, I mean, NASA is a huge rabbit hole, and when you look at their videos with a critical eye, it's pretty amazing. The glitches that they seem to experience all the time with their footage. It's really embarrassing.
Yeah.
But have you ever heard of a documentary called The Principle?
I don't think so.
Okay, so in that documentary, which is actually challenging the heliocentric model to actually geocentrism. So that's like it's kind of not like what anybody here believes. I mean, there might be one or two, but it's saying that it's still a ball primarily is the issue. But the information basically is going to still be the same as if you were to consider a flat earth and not a sphere with a geocentric. But anyway, so a portion of this documentary, it featured the original moon landing footage, and you could probably talk for a couple hours on the speculation how it accidentally got into the wrong hands, this footage that totally busted NASA out, and they flat up lied. They posted a timestamp, and then the calculations didn't match up for how long it would take them to get to the moon. So it was kind of quite a lot of bollocks. But anyway, it's called The Principle. I might have it saved. Let me see.
Yeah, I would watch it. I'm consuming like all of the material I can get my hands on right now.
Oh, dude, you're in the right spot. Make sure you check out down below additional information. There is a lot of things down there according to topic. So
I've got a few. I've watched a few different real long videos from this Discord. Let me additional information.
You know what? If you if you open up your browser and search soap and then the number 2 and then the word day, it's a website and they have The Principle if you just want to save it for yourself for later. I'm pretty sure they do. Let me double check. I just kind of, I don't know, post because I mean, you don't download anything from them, but it's not illegal to watch anything from it.
Yeah, I
You
think I
just have to
found it
make
here.
sure you have like an ad blocker. I've never had any issues with it, and I've used this site for quite a number of years. But I'm pretty sure it's on here. I'm looking right now. I'm typing it in. I thought I've the principal. Nope. Damn. Okay, it's not hard to find. I don't know why I couldn't find it, but
Let's see. Turning off my ad blocker so I can see if I can see it.
I don't think it's there. But if you have like any kind of like Amazon Video, like it might be on there.
Yeah, I do.
If you have Amazon Prime, look up Prime Video.
I'll just make myself a note here, and I'll just.
Yeah,
place
it's
it on
called
my
The
desktop.
Principal. It's got, I can't remember what her. Kate Milgrew is the narrator. But and then there's like 3 or 4 different documentaries on how we didn't go to the moon. Do you think we still went to the moon?
No, definitely not. I mean,
okay, then you don't need to go into that. But
I'm not even going into that very much. But if you just like look at it, it's like, why isn't the horizon stretching on farther? Like, why does it? Like, is the horizon so close to the astronauts? Like, if the world is flat, like we definitely didn't go to the moon. I haven't really looked into it, but I don't believe we went.
well, the moon's really curious because you can, like, some people have claimed with video or photos. I've never investigated it for myself. I mean, but you can see stars through the moon, and you can definitely see blue sky through the moon. It's just kind of strange, like with this. We were talking about this a couple days ago. The solar eclipse of 2016. No one anywhere across the earth, wherever they were, I mean, has seen the moon approaching the solar eclipse. It's just the oddest thing. I mean, if it's supposed to be a rock in space, you should be able to see it.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah.
I've heard people say like it might be like some sort of transparent thing before, and that we could see like
People
stars
have
and stuff behind it.
speculated that. Yeah, that's
But
wild.
I've never seen anything like that.
Speculation. Well,
But I mean, who knows?
but that's coming off of, that's, I don't know. I have a bad habit of veering off topic, and I don't want to go too far with, but anyway, were you like talking about your journey? You were talking about Eddie Bravo. So from there, did you like look in, what other topics have you looked into?
I guess I have a pretty bad memory, but I just started looking at the images from NASA, and I'm like, these don't look real.
That'll keep you busy.
So then I just started from, okay, why don't I just prove the globe, right? Isn't that what everybody does? They try to prove the globe, and then it doesn't work out. So it was basically just I thought about it. I was like, I got to start from a position of what I really know, and
that's a big challenge.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to like get your mind like in the right.
Well, I've been kind of, for me myself lately, I've been contemplating epistemology because I kind of like philosophy, So, how do the stuff we think we know turns out not necessarily the case when you look at it with a critical eye. It's just like the most bizarre thing ever.
Yeah.
I'm being dramatic, but anyway, one of the other ladies want to. One of the other ladies want to jump in, or do we want to? I don't know what time it is for everybody. Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude and interrupt, but I haven't been with
my wifey wants to say something, but she's having technical difficulties.
Oh, well, we'll wait. Cool.
Yeah. I think we're just.
I'm just trying to help her get on.
Man, the guys are putting some good memes in the live stream voice text. I'm gonna have to go back later and gank them all. Oh my gosh, I just noticed the Dumb and Dumber one was Bill Nye, and
Super creepy, huh?
oh my gosh. Yeah, I have a bad habit when I'm talking, I don't look at my phone. Just the stuff, I mean, Bill Nye just creeps me the F out. Normally.
Right? I'm so glad I
Yeah.
never watched him when I was a child. He's just creepy.
You know, he just screams the P word to me. It's just it's so,
yes.
It's so messed up. I can't. Ugh.
Yeah, he's creepy.
All right, fingers crossed for I'm taking it a Glober lady. Ooh, old dude, high five, man. All right. I'm gonna have to save that.
Yeah, that's Pantomath that had that. That's his newest account.
Oh, okay. 7th band account. Ha ha. Oh boy.
Did we try talking to End of Mankind before? Because they're just VC verified.
Who did you say the person was?
Oh, I lost it. End of Mankind, because I came in late too, so I don't know if this person or how long they've been in here. I just was clicking on names, and that one just has the VC verified role. So I don't know if they want to speak or not.
Yeah, we don't know if this person is a flat earther or a globe earther.
End of Mankind, are you there?
Just want to have conversation. We don't want to dogpile you.
Well,
Well,
as
wait,
I
wait,
was
wait.
waiting, yeah, I know. Well, we'll wait and see.
Wait, sorry.
No.
I take that back. I take that back. Okay, all of it.
So, Deck Cuff, they unmuted their mic while we were trying to talk to End of Mankind. Are you there? Did you have anything you want to talk about?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Well, I was just watching, kind of watching that video someone posted with a scientist getting arrested. Well, scientist in quotations.
No.
But
Yes.
I do,
That's
if
what
I
it
may, I have been thinking about something. Well, not thinking about something. A lot of things that, a lot of times, everyone in here, everyone around me, at some point misuses the word science.
Yes.
And everyone is like, oh, but science is like scientists. And it's like, no, that's misusing again the word. Well, actually, that's abusing the word because you're adding something that doesn't change the word anyhow. Because it's just, the word is Latin. It's from the Latin word. And everyone thinks it means something that has to do with what someone can do. But that's not true. It's what you know. It's what everyone can know. That's really all.
Yeah, no, I would science is a method. And so there's different ways you can use that word. But when you're talking about performing science, it's a method.
Now everyone's posting like Google. See, that's the thing, because everyone is like Latin is that word, but Latin is that language, but everyone still uses the words from there, but they're not
Yeah, I
using the
get what
proper
you mean.
meaning.
It's the performance of science. When you are performing science, there is a method. The performance of science, like the verb. of
Again,
science.
now you're misusing the word because you can't perform science. You can be in possession of science. Science just translates into English, which is the language we're talking right now, to knowledge. And that's my only problem, and that's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, there's
doing
science and there's pseudoscience. And science is
Yes,
a
but
method
pseudo is again a Latin word that means
performed.
fake. So it's fake knowledge. So pseudoscience means fake knowledge. So basically a lie. And that's again, I'm sorry, I'm not trying
Yeah,
to gab
in
it anyway.
pseudoscience, when you look it up, it says anything not using the scientific method. So if you're not using the scientific method, which is the performance of science, when you are conducting science, you use the scientific method. So yes, people misuse this all the time.
Use an experiment, yes, which is the method. Experiment means method.
I understand what you're trying to say. I get
Because
it.
all languages are just so fucking intertwined now. It's horrible. The English language is like, after all, the New World language, which is just the language of us slaves. I mean, how many of us actually have? I'm sure there's a lot of Americans in here right now, and all of you say you're Americans. No, you're not. You're a mix of Europeans and so much else. You're not American.
Okay, so not to be
Actually,
a
even
jerk,
the United Kingdom.
The lies go so deep. The lies all go so deep.
This just spiraled. Okay.
And what does this have to do with the shape of the earth?
No, nothing. Nothing. That's my point. I mean, it has nothing to do with that, and that's yeah.
Oh, okay. So do you want to talk about the shape of the earth?
Oh, I mean, I already know the shape, which is flat, and I don't know. I mean, someone say it's round. I don't know if it's round. Maybe all we've been shown is it's like putting a circle within a square or which is inside a triangle and so on. I mean, I don't know the correct shape, but I do know that it's flat. I do know that.
So from judging from your picture that I've seen before, and probably a lot of people other in here have seen before, you believe that there are other lands. I mean, I take that opinion.
No, I just really like that idea that there might be. I don't know that there is, and I don't claim that there is.
Of course not. I said believe. That's the key word, right? I mean,
yes.
I think I'm using the word right. I mean, I'm not saying I have evidence. I'm not making a claim. I mean,
I love that picture. Just a guy with explosions. It's amazing. I don't hate America at all. It's just I love science, and science is knowledge, and Americans are Europeans and so on. But yeah, I have nothing.
No, I'm not.
Share really on the flat earth.
Yeah,
Actually,
we're not Europeans.
well, I got the sense that you were kind of alluding to like etymology, you know.
I don't know the meaning of that word.
How do we know what we know, what we think we know? How do we know it? Where
Etymology means where words
that information come from.
I didn't hear the meaning. Sorry.
Etymology is like the study of where words are derived from, how far back they go, how we can derive them, track them down, see. A good website is, I think it's just called etymology.com, and you can really look at, which language they started from, how they transpired into what they are now, what their definitions mean, all that kind of stuff. It's called etymology.
Oh, you know what? This is going to be a really good example for me personally. I forget who brought it to my attention, and I was like, whoa, okay, I won't be using that word no more. So I, take the position that, that we're being lied to, and, we're not given all the information. So what I've said in the past is there has not been full disclosure in order to give consent. And so when you break that word down, using it in that context it doesn't make any sense. But I've heard that word being used in context like that previously. Can somebody help me out on this one? Is that making... I mean, everybody's heard of the term non-disclosure. Okay, so I guess I could go to etymology.com.
Sorry, Jenny. I missed part of that, and no one's replying, so I'm not sure.
Okay. We can move on.
Well, yeah, you have your,
No,
your
you can repeat it.
non-disclosure agreements. You have your non-disclosure agreements that you sign, so that way you are not allowed legally to disclose or tell. But
Okay, so I'm on the site.
I mean, secret societies.
Should we just play a song and end ladies?
I am sure. I'm all for that.
That sounds great.
Yeah, the guys are trickling in. I'm kind of all right. So, who wants to request a song? It has to be a Flat Earth song, of course.
Well, I always like Leluka and Elijah's song.
All right,
What
all
is it
right.
called? Yeah.
I'll find it.
Thank you.
It is on my playlist. Does anybody else have it handy? Because I think they. Looking, everybody. Sorry.
What are you talking about? What are you asking about, Jeannie?
I think it's actually on SoundCloud. It's Lulu and Elijah. Is that what you said?
Yeah, Elijah F. song
Yeah.
and Leluka's. I can't remember what the name of it is.
Moonshine.
Yeah. Yes, that one.
Okay, I'm gonna try and find the channel. So I'm not that. Or did you mean Drace and Lulu? I can't find it, everybody. I'm so sorry. One of the
It's
guys.
okay, then
should
just
have it.
play your favorite one, Jenny.
Old dude just found it.
Oh, thanks, old dude. Whoop whoop.
There it is.
Thank you, old dude.
Want me to play it, Jenny? Is it too difficult?
Yeah,
to get
go
to?
for it.
All right, just saw to check. Alrighty.
I'm just on my little old phone, everybody.
Someone feed me to it.
You know well what I've been through, living there without a view, asking why we missed our chance, and now I'm looking for something to get by, high and dry, everywhere
rubbing off goose pimples all over the place. That was so beautiful.
Yeah, that's
Another-
such an awesome song.
Another
I've never heard
successful
that one.
ladies' night. Oh, you've never heard it? I've heard it a couple times.
That's awesome.
It was so good.
Leluka has a beautiful voice.
All of them. Like, it was just really
Oh,
good.
I know.
And we're doing all the lady songs now, and it would be cool to have that contrast with, like, you know, a guy. You know how you just have, like, a little blip of, like, something in the background? It would be cool to have him be a part of that. That's just so cool. There's so many talented people in here. It's amazing. Inspiring.
Well, check back. Like, I think on Saturdays, we've been kind of doing like a karaoke thing.
I miss it every Saturday because I go to sleep so early. So I'll have to try and stay up to check it out because I've heard the live. I want to hear it live. It's really cool.
All right.
You've been listening to 24/7
I think officially we're done with Ladies Night, so guys can jump on in.
We hope you're having a fantastic day on this flat and stationary
Thanks,
planet.
Jenny.
If you too would like to join the debate,
Thank you guys for
please
always
click the
holding
link
it down
below.
in here all the
We'll see you
time.
there.